Beautiful. Happy New Year to you, Ernestina.
Many happy returns.
Good to have you here. First time we're meeting in the new year.
Yes.
Fantastic. Wishing you the very best for the year.
Thank you.
Let's talk about food additives. So, in the past, traditionally, how did the people who made food what kind of food additives did they use to improve the taste, the texture, the shelf life, prolonged shelf life, and the appearance of the food? What was being used back then?
So we have the saltpeter, what locally called canwy, that's used to improve the texture of foods like okra, vegetables like okra.
Okay. So when you say improve the texture, what did the canwy do to the okra? What does it do to it?
No, it changes the fluids. It reacts to the fluids that are in the okra. Okay. And then gives that consistency that people,
it makes the okra thicker?
Not thicker, but kind of a little bit of gelatin, a little bit of that consistency that people like.
Smoothness.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then people were also using salt, regular salt for preservation purposes in the dry fish, Kobe, processing or momoni, kako, and all those ones. So things were added even in the olden days and until now to improve the texture, like you mentioned before, the taste, the flavor of the food, and also for preservation purposes.
Okay. What is, momoni is the Ghanaian word. What exactly is it? Describe it to somebody who doesn't know what momoni is.
It's a fermented it's a fermented fish. Okay. So it's a way of processing fish by allowing it to become fermented. And then in the process, it alters the flavor and the taste, and people find it desirable, so they do that to the product.
Can any fish be mommonized, or is a particular kind of fish that can be
any fish could be, but people have peculiar fish locally accepted for the purpose, but it can be done.
All right. Okay, great. And how about ash? People use ash?
Yeah, people use potash. So there are some recipes in some Nigerian dishes that instead of the saltpeter, saltpeter is a potassium salt. So it's the potassium doing the thing, and they use potash, which is ash, which is a form of potassium, to do the same thing. So it can be done.
All right. I hear also fire. You can use fire to kind of preserve your food. Is that why when people smoke the food, smoke fish and things like that?
So that would be a method of preservation, but not an additive.
Okay.
Yes, we are not intentionally adding the smoke. That's not the purpose, but for preservation purposes.
All right. I mean, so thanks for that. So these are the natural, almost like natural ways of doing things. But now you do have, in this modern age, chemical additives.
So the reason for the development or formulation of different additives is because we have moved from the previous method of preparing food for home consumption. We are now looking at preparing food on commercial basis. And because of that, people have to put things in the food that can make it last longer. Because, food is, commercial food may be produced for longer periods, 5 years, 10 years, and it's still wholesome. So the additives are added, first of all, to improve the shelf life, are now being added also for preservation purposes, so that pathogens and things will not go in the food because it's staying for longer.
What are pathogens?
Germs and other things that can cause food spoilage or poisoning. So they are adding now these new developed additives to enhance the prolonged desired shelf life, and also for the purposes of improving the color, the texture. So you know that, for example, if you blend apple and you put down for a while, the color will change. You get apple juice and it has this nice characteristic color. The additives are added to make it appear fresh and make it desirable for the consumer, and also for the safety aspect. So that's why the development of these new additives have come up, because the need for it is now required.
So I found out that these food manufacturers can actually put additives in bananas to make them stay firmer for longer, and other vegetables look fresher, greener, or redder, or whatever color the vegetables are. Are we treading on dangerous grounds with all these additives that have been put in the food for us to enter our stomachs?
Before the additive is approved for use by the regulatory authorities, they have been tested. So ideally, standards are given about how they should be used, the allowable amounts that are safe. If manufacturers are able to stick within these requirements, we say that the additives in the particular product is safe. But then we should also look at exposure. Even if the quantities in the particular product you are eating is safe, and you are eating it too much all the time, over the long term, you could get too much of the additive in your system, and that can also pose an issue.
What is too much?
I mean, too much exposure to the additive. So there's an allowable amount that is safe for a particular product. But let's say you like that product, so you are taking it all the time. A product like sausages, for instance, they put an additive, nitrate oxide inside. And the quantity they may put in what you are eating may be safe, but if you're taking it for a long time, you could increase your risk of developing some cancers and other things. So the food, we should just be careful. Moderation is key. These things are safe for us, but then we should think about moderation, the quantity, and then reducing our exposure.
Okay, so reduce exposure and don't eat too much of these things. You're watching GTV, and we're having a conversation on food additives. Kanwe and momoni, I mean, those are the traditional ones, and then all these other chemicals, new ones. Nitro, you mentioned a chemical right now. It was
nitric oxide.
Nitric oxide, yeah. How healthy are they? Your questions to 055-556-1034. What are the potential risks that we run with the consumption of additives in our foods?
So the first thing is that we have food grade additives. So if the person applying the additives to the food is not well informed, they could put something that is not food into a food additive into your food. So that's why care must be taken that trained professionals are helping, especially small scale producers, to put the right chemical and the right amount.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because a lot of people are springing up making shito at home. We really do not know what is entering those bottles of pepper, and before you know it's on the market.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful. And then another thing is that it could be a means of deceiving the public. So, you know, the additive could give the false impression that the food product is fresh. You know that sometimes, for instance, there was a time that it came out that red fish, because of the preservatives they were putting inside, sometimes it's not that fresh, but it looks very fresh because additives have been applied. So deception can be another issue. And then also some people have allergies to certain food additives. So they may eat a certain product, processed product, and have a reaction not to the food they are eating, but because of the additive that is in the food product they are eating. So if you have food allergies or sensitivity to certain foods, you have to be careful when you are buying processed foods, especially if it contains sulfites or sulfur. You have to be careful. It could give you an allergy. Yes, I think those are the major things.
The chemical Sudan 4 dye was in the news in Ghana even last year and previous years in connection with palm oil products. That Sudan 4, was it an additive that people were putting into palm oil?
Yeah, so it was an additive, but like I mentioned, it wasn't food grade. That's where the issue with. Ideally, I mean, there's no need for adding color to palm oil. The reason for adding food additive is also that there should be a need for it, a processing need. But if you see the way palm oil already looks like, there was no need for even trying to change the color.
What was the motivation for these people adding dye, which wasn't food grade, to our palm oil?
So perhaps there was adulteration of the oil. I mean, they could have added some other thing apart from palm oil. So to improve the color, then they have to add a color to make it look like it's actually palm oil.
What
So
were the
those are
potential
things.
risks to us, the consumers?
So it's not healthy. It wasn't food grade. So that's why the FDA came out to inform consumers and also go and then get the people who involved who were practicing those things.
Does it mean Sudan 4 is for like clothes?
Yeah, so
textiles?
it's not food grade.
It's not for food.
It's not,
We're not supposed to be eating it.
Yeah, it wasn't
Wow.
food grade dye.
All right. Amazing. So how do we walk the line? You're a dietitian. What's your advice for people with respect to additives? How do we protect ourselves? What do we look out for when we buy processed food?
Okay. So I would say that I'm a dietitian, but I'm also a food scientist.
Okay.
So I would say that food additives are not...
What's the difference?
Oh, so it's not very different. We are all nutrition and nutrition professionals,
Okay.
but then the food scientist is also looking at the chemical nature of the food, the nutrient interaction, and also processing.
Okay.
And how safe it is for people
Okay.
as well. So I would say that the food additives are not a bad thing. We shouldn't condemn them. We are only saying that from evidence, through research and everything, allowable standards have been set. As long as people are able to stay within the allowable standards, it's safe. The other thing too, I mentioned exposure. So even though it's safe, if you're taking too much of it, it will give you problems. So what you do as an individual is that you try as much as possible to eat food that is fresh. You can't take that away. Fresh food is always wholesome. Fresh food doesn't have a lot of additives. And then, so look for that. And then when you are buying processed food, sometimes you are buying orange juice. You look at the pack and it has about 20 ingredients in there. It should tell you that it has more than orange juice. You get it. You have to try and limit the content, what you're buying. Look at the content and then take the ones that have as minimal as possible of additives and things added.
How will I know what an additive is when I read the label? Is there any clue? Are there any letters I have to look out for to say, hey, Charlie, this is an additive?
It may be difficult for you to know because usually they may be stated as numbers and other things.
Because I see E.
Yes.
I always see some E's
Yes.
written down. What are they? What is the E standing for?
So they are the names of the additives. So you may not be able to know, but like I'm saying, the thing is orange juice and the content is about 50. It tells you that there are too many things in there. Yes, orange juice could be just orange. Yeah. And one thing we should know that processed food doesn't mean it has additives. Not all processing needs additives. So you should try and take what has as little as possible. And then try not to eat it all the time. So try to cook your own meals, try to eat real food, and that will minimize how much additives you are getting in the food you are taking.
Yeah, just before I go to Thelma for the messages, so those letters, you see them on the description of the food labels, E71, E. So those are just classifications of additives?
Yes. So some may be referring to preservatives, some may be referring to antioxidants.
Okay.
Those are the additives that prevent oil from becoming rancid. So sometimes you open, you put, even like the shito you mentioned, you prepare it, it's fine. After a while, it changes, the scent changes, the oil becomes oxidized. So they can put in antioxidants to help to protect the turning into the rancification of the oil. Sometimes, let's say an ice cream or something, you see how it appears. Additives are added to help make the water part and the fat part okay. Yogurt and other things, they may add stabilizers so that after a while, it will not mayonnaise, it will not separate. You understand? All those things have names, and they are put in the product for a purpose. You wouldn't be happy if you bought your mayonnaise and you go and then the oil is at the top and then the other products. So these are added to make the food appear okay for the consumer.
Okay.
And so that's why those things are added, and they all have names, but they are safe as long as the product you are buying has the FDA approval. You should trust that it is safe, but still don't eat it all the time.
All the time.
Exactly.
Okay, so look for the FDA logo on the packaging of the food. And would you say, before I go for the messages, that additives basically try to change the chemistry of the food that you're eating? I mean, if you're preventing things from separating, isn't that some kind of experiment going on with the food, and the additives are controlling all kinds of things?
And so the experiment, like there are chemical reactions happening.
Wow.
Some of the additives directly affect how the food appears. Some of them are there to aid the reactions that should happen. So enzymes, for instance, are added. They may not alter the taste directly, but they aid the reactions or speed up the reactions that will happen and make the food products okay for the consumer and safe as well.
After this conversation, I'm going to look at my yogurt that I'm going to have for breakfast, and I'm going to check out what is written on it. Maybe I have to just go back to my oats and be safe, you know. You're watching GTD. My name is Kafui. My guest is Ernestina. She's a lead dietitian with NutriT. We're looking at food additives and how healthy they are. Please start sending us your WhatsApp messages, like those who have already sent messages to us. 055-556-1034. Black Star Thelma is standing by for the messages.
I'm shining.
Black Star.
I'm shining.
Take it away.
You see, you're struggling with yogurt. Just eat kenke.
That is it.
Not struggle. You see, they said eat fresh foods all the time. You don't have to worry about enzymes. I'm hearing enzymes. I'm thinking that is not a good thing. So messages coming in. Thank you for sending them to us. Good morning. Good morning, Ms. Tina.
Good morning.
Welcome to the full working week for the first month of 2022.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Kafu. Please, are all food additives good for our health, and which ones are best for us? Lovelace from Mataiko is asking.
Are they all good?
So all approved additives are okay. Some of them may not be necessary, but they are okay.
Natural additives are always the best way to go. Please help us know the best naturally DIYs in our food preparations in our homes. I still have my okra stew spoiled in my fridge, and due to the high cost in its preparation, I've still not discarded it.
Hey, brother.
Three enemies of food: air, light, and heat. So, Menahanta, please discard it.
It was natural. What are the natural
ways
additives?
to preserve our foods, if there are any.
Natural ways. So for preservation is trying to destroy pathogens, like I said, in the food. And the most natural way to do that may be heating your food well. So you heat your food well, put it in a clean container, seal it up well, and then put it in the refrigerator. So refrigeration is a means of preservation. Heating it well, cooking it well, and packaging it well in a clean container can make your food last longer. But if you cook it and leave it on the shelf, it will just spoil quickly.
So here's a question I've always argued with my sister about. Is it better to let the food cool before you refrigerate or freeze it, or to put it in the fridge, hot or warm?
Okay, so when you let the food cool down to a certain temperature, you increase the number of bacteria or reactions that will happen, the growth of the pathogens that can happen, because you bring down to a temperature level where they are okay to thrive. So ideally, right after doing it, seal it up nicely. It may not have to be hot from the stove, but don't let it cool down completely before you refrigerate.
Princess,
thank you.
Good morning.
You've won the argument.
I know that you're watching. So thanks for...
Oh, there's one there. It's there, right there.
Oh, can additives be added into fruits to extend their lifespan?
Additives could be added. You know, sometimes you buy fruit juice and they say no preservatives. You get it. So it was probably heated up and then chilled immediately. That is fine. But for fruit juices that are going to last for a very long time, preservatives may be added to keep it safe.
So I'm hearing additives and I'm hearing preservatives. Are they one and the same?
So there are different types of additives. Some are preservatives. So their purpose is to preserve the shelf life of the products and prevent microbial growth or pathogens from thriving in the product. I mentioned antioxidants. So they are to work preventing oils from becoming rancid. We also have emulsifiers. Those are the ones, like I said, help to mix up the fats with the liquid
you find them
portions.
in yogurt?
Like the mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise especially.
Are they in yogurt too?
They may be in yogurt as well.
Emulsifier sounds like something you put in paint.
Oh no, it's something that's able to help mix in mixable liquids like liquids,
Oil
water, aqueous, and then oily
so
things.
So it's in paste too, but that's not
yes,
food grade.
No, that's not food
Thank
grade.
you.
Curious questions. What makes additives relevant in food preparation? What makes it dangerous to the human system? Why must I add an additive to my food preparation? And how is it prepared? Is it something that we can even prepare an additive?
Yes.
Yeah, you could. I'll start with the number 3. I mean, if you are cooking food in your own home, you really do not need to add additives. So the main purpose of adding these things is to improve the shelf life. Also to help with the color, to help with the texture. If food is fresh, usually the color is fine. So if you are cooking and eating at home, you don't really need to add additives. And so that's the first thing. It's for commercial purposes, really, not for home cooking.
Are they the same as spices?
Mm-hmm. So spices, if you talk about the natural spices, those are herbs.
Cloves and all those things, cinnamon.
They are not really additives because they are nutritious ingredients that are part of the food. But we have the monosodium glutamate, that's the flavor booster, that is added to food to enhance the taste. That is an additive. And too much of that could raise your blood pressure. Some people are allergic to it, so you have to be careful with the use of those ones.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that's about it for all the questions on this side. I'll hand it over back to you, and then you can finish up the conversation.
Okay, and just before we wrap it up, I think you've answered all the questions that we wanted to ask, which is great about this whole touchscreen thing. So thanks for giving us the questions and producing the show with us. Ernestina, what do you want to leave our viewers with as far as conversation on additives and health is concerned?
So I would say that moderation is key. Food additives are not bad in general if all the rules are followed. But you should be reading labels and make sure you are not getting too much additives. Prepare food at home to reduce how much you rely on processed food. And we should also note that not all processed foods have additives. So that could be a misconception. And then so we should try as much as possible. You cannot do wrong with fresh food. So as much as possible, have some fresh food and you should be okay and good to go.
I'm just curious though, are there additives in bottled water?
Yeah, things are added. Sometimes things are added.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check my bottle of a week, but I'm sure it's all food grade. Thank you so much, Ernestina Edufo, lead dietitian at NutriD. Any predictions for our game? Today we are playing Morocco. Did you know that?
Yes,
you
yes. So we are all praying for Ghana, and we hope Ghana wins this match.
Give me a score.
2-1.
2-1. In whose favor?
Oh, Ghana's
favor.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That's
Thank
a good prediction.
Too.
I like that. So, Ernestina, thank you very much.
Thank you.
She's lead dietitian at NutriD, and we've been looking at food additives and how healthy they are. In case you just caught this part of the conversation, don't worry. Go to YouTube and go to Facebook. Look for Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Like us, follow us, and the whole stream will be there. Okay? Thanks to Thelma for the messages. Messages came on 0555561034. I'm handing over now to Val, standing 9. That's her position. And I've asked you to predict the number on her back. She won't tell you until the last segment of the show. And mine as well. You know Thelma's already, 17. But Valerie's and mine will be revealed soon. Yes, soon. Now over to you. Tell us. Shower.
Yes, thank you, Kaf. So over here on the side, we are taking you with our guys, Alan and Jay, our team in the sky, our guys on the ground. We are going to the traditional, it is termed the traditional headquarters of the Fanti ethnic group in Ghana. We are going to Mankesim. Our guy, Alan, is already standing by. So we are going to look at what traffic looks like at the famous Mankesim runabout. My guy, Alan, is already on standby. He's behind, and he's coming to us all the way from Cape Coast. Good morning, Alan. Your predictions for today's match first. Your predictions.
Good morning, Valerie. It's definitely a lone goal. I mean, you know the way Milo does it. Milo doesn't do more than one goal project. He goes in for one goal and he defends guards against his post. Anyway, Val, I want to put you on the spot. can you predict what my jersey number is? Anyway, welcome to the Kingdom of Mankasim. It is a kingdom because its history predates our colonial history. Students of history will bear me out that in 1592, the people of Mankasim would have been one family with the people of Bono Ahafo, but they break up, and so the name Fanti itself comes from their breakaway. What it means is Fato. And then when they arrived here in the heart of the central region, the name over the years stuck to be Fanti, but the actual name is Fato. And so in 1592, they broke away from Bono Ahafo and then settled over here. On their way back, though, they were led by three warriors, Obanankuma, Odapijan, and Osun. So what you see behind me is the eagle, which represents one of the warriors, the eagle, the whale, and then the elephant. And so you would normally hear the Fantis when they are in the element would sing Obudamankuma, 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 Dapijane, Osuni, Osuntinyabwa. This is where I am at the moment at the Mankasim roundabout. And so as I pan my camera around, I'll be bringing you the images of Obudamankuma, Odapijan, and Osun. But hey, let's go do traffic this morning. At the roundabout, what you can see ahead of me, eastward is the traffic coming in from Accra and through parts of Kaswa and then making its way through Winneba and then hit the Mankasim roundabout. That is when it turns westwards towards the actual capital of the central region, which is Cape Coast. And then from here, the roundabout has two main exits. The first exit on the Mankasim roundabout will take you to places such as Ejumakun. It will take you to places such as Besiansi. It will take you to places such as Komim and the rest of them. And these are all smaller towns and villages around the central region. And so you'll find that traffic coming from Accra isn't that huge. But traffic leaving the Mankasim roundabout, making its way towards Ejumakun, Bisianse, and Komem, you have a slow traffic. It is so because what you have is taxi drivers not necessarily giving any regard to the highway code, and so will pack up anywhere, even in the middle of the roundabout, to pick up or drop off passengers. And so what you have is traffic heading towards Ejumakun is rather very, very slow. And then when you move away from traffic going towards Ejumakun, you're coming to the second exit, which will then take you westwards towards Cape Coast. But before we go to Cape Coast, as I mentioned earlier, this is the second warrior in the Fanti Confederacy warriors in the persons of Obanankuma or Dapijan, and this is Osun. And so from Osun, we will look straight down towards the west ward, where traffic leaves this roundabout and makes its way slowly but surely, makes its way out of this roundabout and then headed directly towards Cape Coast. Again, you will find traffic is a bit slow as you head towards Cape Coast from this end. Once again, it is only so because you will find a trotro driver just parked. I mean, the trotro driver is just parked without any regard to other commuters or road users, and is just picking up a passenger. Indeed, some passengers must also be blamed when we have such situations happening, because it is very selfish on our part to think that trotro drivers could drop off anywhere just because we want to get somewhere. Indeed, the traffic this morning at this roundabout is slow towards Cape Coast and slow towards Ejumakun. But heading out of Accra or coming in from Accra, traffic isn't as bad. Now, this is the third warrior in the Obanankuma, Odapijan, and Osunu in the Fanti Confederacy. This has been a rush hour coming to you live from the Mankasim roundabout. It is once again your brother and your chief laborer, Daryl Allen Tego, coming to you live from the Mankasim roundabout.
Right. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Alan, for bringing us those updates all the way from Mankasim Runabout. And we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we still have discussions about the University of Ghana student accommodations issues. We'll be talking about easing the SIM card registration confusion, the NCA solution. We'll also be looking at something worth the Monday. But when we come back, what to expect is the headlines with Kafui and the guys. They're about to discuss what's trending in the newspapers and online portals. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We'll be right back.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
A la carte.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, let's take a peek.
I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what this restaurant is about?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
A la carte.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style? Complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service.
We've got you covered
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
with a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
So we are GBC, GBC,
4 p.m. today on GTV Sports Plus. That's when the game will be aired. What are your predictions? I'm looking at Twitter. I put a tweet there. Oh, follow me on Twitter, I beg you. At Kafui Day. Day is D-E, but I got D. All right. I said, will the Black Stars shine brightly? Will the Atlas Lions roar to victory? And apparently, 64% of you think Ghana will win. 23% think Morocco will win. 13% think there will be a draw. What do you think? 05556 1034. Your prophecies, your predictions for the game. My guests are Bernard Techi Odro, Regional Coordinator for the Commonwealth Alliance for Young Entrepreneurs, West Africa, and Justice Abdullah is a lawyer and a lecturer at UPSA Law Faculty. Gentlemen, the whole year I don't see you. The whole year I don't see you.
Yeah, you're right.
The whole year we haven't met. Happy New Year.
Many returns.
Yes.
You're looking very good.
You're looking good too.
I was hoping that you were playing for the Black Stars because you have the height and you have the strength.
I don't get the kappa.
Sometimes you can never tell. You probably just didn't develop your talent.
You see now, I was more of a serious supporter.
And unfortunately, some of us reserved our talent for the future, and now I display it well.
Ah, nice one.
I'm sure Thelma would want to see me play.
Oh yes, she will. Yes,
I know the venue though.
At Ghana Water, we'll play on the Ghana Water pitch. At Ghana Water, we'll play there. Bernard, happy Shapa. How you doing, man?
Great.
Looking forward to the game?
Yeah, I was a good follower till I had a gunshot.
Wow, really before you had a gunshot?
I could be in a goal post, I could defend all round.
Wow.
I was a good striker, good defender, yeah.
Wow.
So, but since then I lost interest in football. And then again, if you watch the old players like Mohamed Polo, Tony Yeboah, Abedi Pele, alongside the current dispensational players we have, I seriously think that the Blasters is just a platform for advertising players just to sell them. But the real talent are in the hinterlands. If you go to most remotest part of Ghana, that is where the real talent are. I watched a documentary this morning on how Abedi Pele was identified by somebody from the up north, brought him down, how Mohamed Polo was identified. But in this current Blasters and the politics around it, we don't seem to get the real talented players. And I think that we should take politics out, go to the hinterlands, identify the real players, people who are passionate. Football is passion. Football must not be seen as a business. Fine, you can look at the business component of the sports aspect, but when you move to the hinterlands, you go to the villages, the raw talent are there. Look at Udu Isaka. Yeah. In those times, he could dribble people, sit on the ball, and you could see this is real football. We are not getting the Udu Isaka, the Tony Yeboahs. It's because we're making sports and football look more political than the passion.
Yeah. So we should get to the passion.
Yeah, we should look
for the talent.
Yes.
And free advice before we jump into this. If you know of a player that is really, really, really good, no matter where he or she is, please, let's use technology. Capture the person on video.
Yeah.
Put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Put it on YouTube. Somebody will see.
Yeah.
Put a hashtag on it. You know, the next star, rising star, hashtag future black stars, whatever. Put a hashtag. It will go around, people will see it. A lot of news happens on social media and then jumps to traditional media. So let's use technology. Don't despair. You can break through, all right? Next one. And Ghana is winning. Not just this game, but the tournament. The 40 years in the wilderness are over. We've been roaming around for 40 years. This is the time.
Amen, Prophet's Day.
Thank you very much. No fear, panic, Dr. Dampari, I'm safe. Okay, these are our headlines today, 10th of January 2022. Daily graphics, SIM card registration, telcos beef up logistics. Education, UTAB withdraws services today. GFL Guta welcome suspension of benchmark value reversal. And Black Stars ready for AFCON. That's a daily graphic. The Ghanaian Times leads with government suspends benchmark reversal. President recommends wider consultation. Stars Morocco in KG clash as president urges team to win cup. And COP Mami Adodankwa appointed IOCO Executive Director. Those are your headlines in today's Ghanaian Times. The Finder has found us with these headlines. Road crashes kill over almost 3,000 people in 2021. That's almost a 13% increase over 2020. Ishmael Ashite served faithfully, says Dr. Bawumia. Of course, the passing of Ishmael Ashite, a stalwart in the NPP. Claims Akufo-Addo's relatives flew presidential jet to UK. False, says Ghana Armed Forces. And those are the headlines I found in the Finder. And the Inquisitor leads with majority sweating over e-levy approval. Okay, so those are our headlines. We're going to dive straight into the stories. I'm seeing benchmark withdraw in two of the papers. I see Daily Graphic. I see Ghanaian Times. Benchmark reversal. Who wants to take a first bite at this? Justice, you want to go?
Oh, well, the reversal.
Yes. So government suspends benchmark reversal, recommends wider consultation. That's the president. What's your view on that?
Yeah, indeed, I commend the president. Something I don't do very often for this. At least giving exporters and importers that listening ear. It clearly appeared that right from day one, this was an unpopular decision within the fraternity of those using the pots for the activities.
What would have been the impact if the benchmarks had
even
been
before
reversed?
even before the reversal came? Unfortunately for me, I was buying some items from an importer. The week before, I had a call that I should be expecting a higher price, something I've already bargained for and made a deposit. He had already called me that I should expect the price to vary because of the benchmark issues, and so because he's paying more for the goods now. And I do not understand how the reversal should automatically result in an increment in the payment of duties and other things. But it appears that that is exactly what happened. And so clearly it was going to cause inflation, and prices were going to rise astronomically. And considering the fact that we literally import everything in this country, I do not know the extent of how the price increases were going to be limited, because really from toothpick to literally the best medicines in this country, everything is literally imported. Now, if the benchmark index was couched such that it was going to cause a spiral increase in prices, obviously all economic gains that we have had in this country are going to go to the roofs, and to nothing, and we are going to be the losers at the end of the day. I don't know how this would have affected government revenue mobilization drive, but obviously an increment would have helped government in this direction. And I do not think that is what we need as a country at this moment, because we're already suffering. I have heard several times government complaining about COVID causing a lot of economic hardships, but really, the economic hardships were caused onto the Ghanaian first before the government suffered. I mean, we were the victims as citizens, as individuals in this country, as corporations, and indeed as all other forms of activities that everybody does in this country. We all suffered this. So it wasn't just a government suffering from COVID, and for which reason government needs to raise more revenue. If government needs to raise more revenue, so do I have to. I mean, so do you, so do other companies. All of us would have suffered this fate. And so automatically, once government thinks that it needs more resources, government should remember that all of us as individuals and other participants in the build-up of a good country have suffered. And so we also need to raise some revenue. And where do we raise it from? We do not have anybody that we are going to tax. We do not have anybody that we are going to raise these monies from. We are going to take it from our customers, and our customers do not have any other means of getting these monies from. Ultimately, it means we are going to have a very bad economic system. And so I expected that a more robust and a more innovative means would be deployed in going about some of these things, and a better consultation. Clearly, the consultations that went on were not adequate, because even before the budget was announced, and the budget heralded this benchmark issue, there were concerns from various importers. I think there are two sections of the importers, and there were strong arguments. I heard a lot of facts from these groups that were consistently against the reversal, the imposition of the benchmark, and the arguments sounded so good to me. I mean, I was very convinced that this was not something that we needed to do. Unfortunately, government did it, and having realized the errors in the judgment made, and going back to it, I think it should be a cap in the feather of the president for him. Coming up boldly, because it's very difficult for people to change their mind when they realize they were wrong. People, we are people with ego, and so sometimes taking that bold decision to know that, well, it looks like this time I got it wrong. I'm sorry. I think we have to think deeper about this. It's something that we do not do very often, and having done that, I think the president needs to be commended, and we need to find a better way of going about some of these things, and I believe we'll be the winner at the end of the day.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Justice. But some people say, listen, saying I'm sorry is nice in love songs, but in politics, if you don't do competition, you put out a policy, then you have to come back and withdraw it. It speaks to a certain lack of consultation and thinking through before the policy was announced. How do you feel about that with respect to this particular benchmark?
First, let me say good morning to our viewers and Happy New Year to everybody, and also to read the blast as well. We want a win today and nothing more.
That's all.
And let me come back to the benchmark.
No reversal on that.
Yes, no reversal on that. Napoleon said one thing, that always advance your own level of argument. But when you meet a superior argument, drop yours. And it is not for nothing that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. What it simply means is that great leaders must listen more than talking. And that's the element of consultation. Now, the fact that you put up a policy and people oppose it doesn't mean that you are wrong as a leader. It's simply that material moment, the facts and figures available do not support the policy. And I think that going forward, it might happen that one day in this country, this benchmark be accepted. Economically, why benchmark, value, and all these things? It's simply an import substitution agenda of the government. What the government sought to do by this policy, in my candid view, is that government wanted to protect local industries. And in so doing, I have a certain line of thinking that if your son wants to go and fight the son of Floyd Mayweather, you don't need to tie the hands of the son of Floyd Mayweather for your son to beat his son. But what your son must do must begin to train very well so that the day he meets Floyd Mayweather's son, he can beat him in the ring. And that is why Zuma said that if you are going to boxing as an African, go with your referee. And your referee is technical knockout. As an African, we have not built the local industry so well. The government brought in the 1D, 1F. And in my candid view, if you can give them enough subsidy for them to be empowered, you don't need benchmark value or any policy of this nature. Because you see, if the Poultry Farmers Association are being resource well motivated in this country, then they can compete with any product from China, Taiwan, or wherever. Today, cassava is imported. So the ordinary peasant farmer in my village who is into cassava cultivation, the one for China might be cheaper than the one in Ghana. So for the government to embark on it, raise more money, then the government should grant more subsidy to the people down here. Because you see, we're in a global village. And the fact that you want to protect your own by restricting entry will not make yours cheaper. And that's something the government must begin to realize. Yeah. For me, the Ministry of Trade Finance failed the government.
How do you mean?
This policy simply emanated from the Finance Ministry and the Trade Ministry. So what it simply means is that there was lack of proper consultation from these 2 ministries to the presidency. From the one people oppose it.
You think they didn't talk to the Ghana Federation of Labour?
Not a lot. Yes, because you see, the government, the president cannot be everywhere. And a lot of policies from this government come out, use backlashes, and they withdraw. What it simply means is that the government is not doing more listening. Because if you can listen from the traditional media, social media, the online platform, you know what the people want to see. And what Ghanaians want to do. Somebody said that, you see, the power of the masses is greater than the people with power. And that's what we are witnessing today. So you can be the president, the minister, but what the masses want is what must be done. And it might be done through a commonsensical approach. So in my candid view, I'll join lawyer Abdullah to also commend the president. Now, accepting your weakness doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you have strength. And the strength in part is where you accept divergent opinion. You sit on the table, listen to opposition parties, listen to the trade unions, and see the way forward. Because for me, let's go to the 1D, 1F. What is it the government sought to do with that policy? Has it been achieved?
They wanted to put one factory in every district.
Not really. For me, I don't believe in this wholesome 1D, 1F agenda. Look, if you can have 10 kids and they're all drunkards and one has 1 kid, and that person is a lawyer, who is making more impact in the country? It is the one with 10 kids who are armed robbers or drunkard, or the one with 1 kid who is a lawyer. So you can have 1D, 1F in every constituency, every district in Ghana. It might not make it, but if you can have one big industry, employing, let's say, 20,000 people, it's better than making effort to put, let's say, you are trying to have 1D, 1F in every district in Ghana. Look, take Commander Sugar Factory. If you look at the impact that factory can do alone for Ghana in the sugar industry, it is far more than putting 10 industries, companies in Ghana in different regions. Because what the Commander Sugar Factory alone can do in the sugar value chain in terms of importation is far. So it's not just about the number of factories you put up, but it's about the quality, the impact, the employability, the scalability of it.
Is it your argument that the policy was more politics-driven than economics-driven?
Surely. And the day when I saw this sloganerism around it, I thought it to be a good policy. But you see, in business-wise, there's something called the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle stipulates that in Ghana here, 20% of Ghanaians own 80% of the wealth of this country. So if you're a serious government, identify the paratos, the 20s, who can create the job. So the fact that, yes, the Bono people, Ashanti, Eastern, they need job, doesn't necessarily mean that at all costs put companies there. You might right to put a company in Bono to fail. But maybe you can put 20 companies in Ashanti region and people can migrate from Bono region to get employment in Ashanti region. And that's the Pareto. So in other serious business, you go with the Pareto principle. Look at the fewer the merrier. What are the areas when I put a company, employability will be there, scalability, profitability will be there. So it's not just about shouting and making slogans and getting touting and big names. It's about the reality of the day, of the focus. Because 1D1F in many people can view has failed. Because if 1D1F has worked so well, you don't need benchmark. Because 1D1F will prove to show you that the policy is working, people are getting jobs, and they are paying taxes. And the more you put up industry, more taxes will be paid.
Then more revenue comes to the government.
So benchmark will be irrelevant in this. So it means that heading on benchmark simply means that the 1D1F has failed and government will revisit it.
Let me ask both of you one question, and I'm going to start with Justice. So this policy has been suspended. Do you see it coming back? Second coming of the benchmark? Because it's a suspension. It's not scrapped.
If you listen to the president, he says he's suspending it for further consultations. Basically, that's what the president is saying. So, by logical deduction, it will naturally come back to us, perhaps in different form or shape. However, whether it comes back to us or not should not be an issue for now. It should not have, I think the questions that we need to be asking is the basis for a reimposition and the objects that it seeks to achieve. I think that is more of a better approach to this than simply just introducing a policy. If you introduce a policy that doesn't make a better impact, there's absolutely no point doing that. You should be looking at the impact that you're seeking to make. And I think if it is coming back, it will come back with all these considerations having been taken on board and knowing that indeed we're going to have a better implementation and indeed a better impact going forward. I think if we have to come back, that should be the only ground, the basis for doing that. I mean, anything outside of that, coffee, I think, would be a shot in our own foot, and that would not go well for us.
Okay, Bernard, if it should come back, under what guise do you think it will? What clothes will it wear?
Right. So here they are looking at about close to 40 to 50 products. And that's what the benchmark are going to be on. Simply means that the tax waiver we have given for this product, we are taking them off. So let's say, ideally in the past, if you were paying a levy of, let's say, import levy of, let's say, 50 cedis on product A, the benchmark said that we are going to increase that. And that, consequentially, the final consumer will suffer. Lawyer made a very good point that it's going to lead to inflation. Yes, it's true. Both demand and cost push inflation. Cost push inflation because it's going to affect factors of production. So the person out there importing machinery and any other thing to produce further, the prices will go up. So it's going to affect the industrialists, the business people, and every businessman will also tell you that if he incur costs, he will finally transfer that cost to the final consumer. Yeah. So both cost and demand push inflation will arise. Now, if it comes back, it shouldn't come back. It should not come back at all. It shouldn't come back at all.
It should just go.
It should go away. So I will not even make that of it coming back. Yes. You see, the voice of the people is the voice of God. It should not come back at all. So the consultation should end on the table that is needless. It must scrap it off. Then again, we should come back to the 1D1F
and boost that.
And strengthen and boost its capacity. So if benchmark has failed, what is the alternative? The alternative is that the 1D1F that we touted, has it failed? What is the reason? So the consultation should be, how can we improve 1D1F implementation? Okay. And when we do that, benchmark will be needless.
Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would love to know. 055-556-1034. So it's a headline in today's Daily Graphic with GFL, which is the Ghana Federation of Labour, and the GUTA, GUTA, Ghana Union of Trade Associations, welcoming the suspension of the benchmark value reversal. Ghana Times also says government suspends benchmark reversal. President recommends wider consultation. Justice thinks it may come back in a different guise. Bernard thinks it should not come back at all. and 1D1F rather needs strengthening, so to give full value to why it was set up. We'd love to hear what your views are. 055-556-1034 on WhatsApp. Now, to a story that has vexed my mind over the past 3-4 weeks, because I drive early in the morning on my way to work and I see people pitching camp outside telcos at 5:20, 5:30. Does not make sense to me. What are they doing there? I had an opportunity to interview a young man that says, oh, it's even late. People get there at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yes. What are they doing? They are re-registering their SIM cards. Why? And so there's a headline in today's Daily Graphic: SIM card registration, telcos beef up logistics. The telcos have ramped up technical logistics to improve their services towards the ongoing SIM card registration exercise. As part of improved logistics, the mobile network operators will from today use an updated version of the app being used for the registration, increase the number of smartphones being used for the exercise, increase the number of registration centers to include distributors, all retail outlets, as well as selected agents. About time. So this is Dr. Ken Ashigbe, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Telecoms Chamber, responding to the complaints, the anger of the Ghanaian public. This should be, I don't even know why people are visiting centers. Everything should be able to be done on our phones. Justice, are you as frustrated as I am by this? What should be a very simple registration process?
Coffee, really, it's as though we enjoy inflicting pain on ourselves in this country. If you start from registering as a voter, you go through this same frustration. If you start from registering even as a student, you go through the same frustration. But these days the universities are even doing way better. I mean, you do literally everything online.
Yeah, UPSC is actually doing quite well.
In fact, I have to commend almost every university in Ghana, the public universities in particular. You probably never even see a queue.
No.
Unless, of course, it has to be accommodation,
yeah.
which is a big mess. But I'm sure it's a discussion for another day.
Definitely. For today. No. Go ahead.
So then, Kafi, you go to the passport office for passport. It's the same mess you go through.
I hear now it's improved though, and now you can do things.
Go to DVLA, the same mess. It's literally every government services involve one mess or the other. Unfortunately, this one is not entirely government. This is perhaps government private deploying this.
Public-private partnership.
Sort of. Yeah. But why do we still have to go through this frustration? People lose 1 hour that you're supposed to be using. I mean, imagine if you were supposed to go register. Who'd be here this morning? And whoever is supposed to be here ought to be registering as well. And so you take away the quality and all the things that we need to use our precious times for, simply to be in a queue for 6 hours and 7 hours. And what's the essence of this registration, really? I have registered with National Identification Authority. They have my entire database. I'm supposed to register my SIM card. The SIM card apparently requires me to also provide the same database that they
just talk.
And I've already merged the same database online.
Yes.
I can't just believe the logic in this. The same thing that you are requiring me to provide to the telcos, I have already provided to the National Identification Authority. And I have merged that SIM with with this particular institution, giving you the very information that you need the telcos to take. So what is the telco doing with that? Why are they taking my biodata? What for? And guess what? I've had people even question the ownership of the app. We're talking about the data of over 30 million Ghanaians being collected by private institutions. And the app taking this, I understand there's not even a Ghanaian app for us to even have a better regulatory framework around it. I understand if it is true that it's a Kenyan app.
What are the legal implications?
That's exactly where I'm going. And we already have the NIA Act and Data Protections Act, which ensures, which literally seeks to protect your data from being given to a third party. from having a third party even having knowledge of any data collected from any individual in Ghana.
What are the potential risks of a third party having your and my data?
Is it, well, this is it. Anyone can easily manipulate our systems. He can manipulate my bank details with this information. He can manipulate every transaction that I do anywhere. He can literally put my fingerprint on any crime scene. And I'll be sitting here thinking that I'm sleeping. Yet, tomorrow, I'm committing a crime. Like the way the accounts put it. What does not know literally,
your feet are out.
Your feet are out. You'll be committing a crime that you've never been to the crime scene.
And all the evidence will point to you.
And every single evidence is directed at you. And imagine if, like other countries have, your fingerprints are on some ballistic missiles in this country. All our generals who probably control weapons and other things. And an individual has his entire fingerprints, facial recognition, everything. Literally, you can walk into any secured environment with this information. But we don't care. We are not even bothered. We are not bothered at all in any way because we are Ghanaians. And we allow these loose things to go on without questioning the basis for it. Now imagine the President of the Republic has his database captured if he has registered, and he ought to register because it's an order from the executive. The Vice President, the Bank of Ghana, the man that is in charge of your money. And he really has to sign your currency before you use it. Now his entire database has been collected by an individual who probably, who we do not even know. I can't just phantom the mischief that this will get us to. But unfortunately, this is where we are. Now, having said all this, Kafi, we should ask ourselves the deeper questions, the more important issues. Why must we do this in the first place? The idea is to fight crime, but this is enhancing crime. This is promoting crime. Because we do not have enough logistics to control how these databases are going to be used in the future.
So the telcos now say that they are beefing up their ops.
And then coming to the telcos and how they are even collecting this data. Couldn't we have done a better way? Couldn't there have been a better way of doing this? Now, the app, couldn't we put this same app on App Store or the Play Store for anyone to simply download and do the same thing from the comfort of your...
Wouldn't the security issues you are worried about also play out there?
Unfortunately, they are already out there. There can never be a better way of doing it.
You have wanted the app to be a government app.
I wanted it to be a state-sponsored, state-controlled. If for nothing, you have some faith in some governmental control over it. But this, an MTN from South Africa, I do not even know. I can't just understand why a South African company should have my database. Vodafone from UK. And I'm sitting in Ghana and the British authorities have my entire database. And then, as for Airtel, I think somewhere from the Middle East, I don't know, I hear the Indians have sold it. And they have everything about the entire nation called Ghana.
So
and guess what?
Okay, tell me.
We have more SIM cards in Ghana than human beings. Almost every Ghanaian has more than 2 SIM cards. Almost everyone. And so if on the average you have 60 million SIM cards, almost all these companies have everything about you, your entire family. Some people have it for their children, they have it for their parents, and so they have... This is very dangerous. And in the period of terrorism and
cybercrime and all those things,
this cannot be the way to go.
I'll come to you.
I am very sure that the Ministry of Communication and its allied agencies would have thought about some of these concerns, but it is obvious that they are not being addressed to the satisfaction of us.
I'll come to you for possible solutions in a short while. Bernard, before we go to the messages from Thelma, tell me, so the SIM card registration wahala has been going on for a very long time. Public is not happy, but there are other issues, apart from the logistics issues. Justice talked about the potential threats to our own personal security because of our data? Who is holding our data? The person authorized? What are your thoughts around what's going on right now? How do you read it?
Careful at times when you look at some of the political commitments our leaders make, it makes you feel that we don't have good sense of judgment. It's simple. We say COVID is not real and it's killing people, right? Go to the registration centers. Go, just move around and see people in queue. They are not in nose masks, no social distancing. Then I ask myself that, okay, so can we then trust our same government that is fighting COVID-19? So even on that premises, it is simply an element of the conspiracy of the rich. And what conspiracy stipulates is that anything the political class will do to make money, even at the expense of the devil, the citizenry, they will do it. If not that, why is the same government preaching digitalization? And they are making the whole world know that if it comes to Ghana, we want to be so digitalized that if it's about that, it is Ghana. Why can't a simple app be developed so that we can sit in the confines of our home? People don't need to queue. And you see, my fear is about the data protection element of all that is going on. Look, somebody said, according to the Ghana Statistics Survey, Ghana population around 30.7. No, we are around 45 million. Many people were not counted though. This population census, many I'm telling you that.
So when did you do the count?
I'm telling you, many people were not counted.
As much as 15 million were not counted.
I'm telling you how. That is why when that is why when it comes
to, you don't need to be counted literally.
You don't need to, but
because they will come and ask how many people live here, things like that.
You see, but of all those things, if you look at the counting, they figured out the estimate that was put out, and the challenges you go through should tell you that Ghanaians really today, in my candid view, we are around 45 million people. In my view. So,
according to your census?
Yes, according to my census. So, if you are going to put up estimately around 40 million population data in the hands of foreigners, we are kidding.
Look, no, because of the multiple SIMs, there will be definitely more than 30 million SIM numbers.
Yes,
definitely.
I've read some publications and articles which are that to say that the owner of the registration app is a Kenyan. Granted that it is, then we feel that's a country. So you see, are they beginning to telling us that all the young guys from KNU University, UCC, Winneba, Ashasi, and all the rest could not develop a single app, and that we need a Kenyan to do that? Where's the Ghana Beyond Aid? You see, if you're saying Ghana Beyond Aid, literally it means that it must transcend within all your sectors. So if it is IT, digitalization, get Ghanaians to own it. Is the NPP government, or the government is telling us today that if it is about app development, it's about registration of SIM card, we couldn't get a single Ghanaian to the over 30 million people to develop an app that to be homegrown. So that Ghanaian can say that my data is in the hand of a Ghanaian and that we need a Kenyan. I'm not against Kenyans, and nobody should get me wrong. But I don't think that a Kenyan government would allow a Ghanaian to own an app that to register a citizenry. That in itself tells us that we have failed as a country. So you see, Mr. President, you said Ghana Beyond Aid. Let it start from the backyard. In my candid view, get a Ghanaian young person from KNU University, from Legon, from Ashasi, from Gimpa, from UMAT. Let him develop an app that will make him a millionaire. So that in the next years to come, when I'm growing up, I will say that Ghanaians have leaders that when it comes to businesses, they will consider their own. But not when a Kenyan-based soya beans app developer who comes to Ghana and with little experience, he's given a multi-million-dollar contract.
Soya beans, man.
Yes, check. He's a soya app developer in Kenya. And that for me is worrisome. See, we can create millionaires in seconds, and that guy with that app today is a millionaire and it's capital flight. He made the profit, it goes to Kenya. And that's what people say that the Kroma Yeshi. A Kroma Yeshi because when the guy makes the money goes to Kenya. But if this contract had been awarded to a Ghanaian based in Kumasi, in Bono, in Tamale, when he makes the money goes to Tamale in Kumasi, and guess what happens? He builds houses, he takes care of the family, and the money stays. So, Mr. President, your Ghana Beyond Aid with this policy, this contract to a Kenyan is defeatist. And if you want me as a Ghanaian here to believe and trust you, reverse the contract. Give it to a Ghanaian. And let us know that your commitment to your words is guaranteed. Other than that, I'm not even bothered about the data protection. Give it to a Ghanaian. Let them employ people so that this confidence will be. I'm an entrepreneur. And when you sit back and you see beings going flying to outsiders. It beats imagination. Then why we are promoting STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, education. And what does it say to do? For people to develop app of this nature. So after they've gone through all the 4 years, 6 years, they all the contract to Kenyan. Then where is the STEM education? I'm sorry. It's a big time goof.
I'm not sorry that you're watching us. I'm excited. And it's the 10th of January, and there's fire and passion in the studio. Bernard and Justice. We're jumping to the messages in the shop.
Just a second. Imagine if we had advertised for Ghanaians.
You know, I had my own hair.
For this,
it would have happened. It would have happened.
Brilliant app.
When COVID broke 2020, the South Korean government tasked their people to come up with an app to be able to locate people who may have the virus, so you know how to get care to people, and they developed it. Yes,
and we could have done. Yeah. Ghanaians are developing serious apps.
All kinds of things, man.
And if you had put this out there,
you would have done it.
Come on.
Can we quick one? Do you know how Mobile Money app came about? It was by a young man whose mother was poor in US, and this app was developed. Let's begin to own Ghana.
Thank you. Messages coming through now. I'm sure a torrent, a flood, tsunami of messages. 055-556-1034. My guest, in case you're wondering where all the passion is coming from, Bernard Techi Odro is the regional coordinator for Common Alliance of Young Entrepreneurs West Africa, and Justice Abdullahi, who is a lawyer and a lecturer. He has all the else. All right, at UPSA Law Faculty. And here we go to Thelma, who also has her name somewhere, and she has the messages for us.
But I have all the tea.
You have all the tea. Yes. You have all the tea.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, sweetheart.
We have a thing.
No? Flo Bernard.
Bernard promised me that he will bring me a cup, so him the
What's
sorted.
The messages.
Then I'll need one.
Unconditional Ghana wins.
Yeah, unconditional.
So
that's guaranteed.
Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, what time?
Blackstars, you better win, please.
T's and C's apply.
Messages coming in. Good morning, I'm really enjoying your show. How can you spend more to collapse banks while little is needed to survive? Today, it has turned back to hunt the economy. Jacobs Bote is sending us that message from Spintex. Can I pick some more? Yep. I'm really wowed by today's knowledge displayed by your most learned honorables. Everyone is honorable. Justice Abdo and Senior Ben, especially with the Pareto 2080 principle. Our leaders must be watching GTV Breakfast. We really lack technological infrastructure as a country. I believe we need to plan very well in tackling time wastage in our space of dwelling. So I tranquil without real practicality.
What is one try? What is one try?
We overlearn.
Overlearning.
Overlearning.
I've learned something new today.
Good morning, GTV Breakfast team. Love this hashtag. You should be using this on social media platforms. For the population census, I wasn't counted though. I'm in Accra, Shayo Sudoku district. So I agree with your
You don't need to be counted. They just have to come to your house and they say how many people are here and they'll take care. No be so.
Yeah. Here's another one. Good morning, Kafu. My problem is my Ghana card was not given to me. They don't even know where my card is. So how will I register my SIM card? Valid question there. We'll put that to the NCA rep who comes. Good morning, GTV. Please, why do you bring 2 NDC men in our studio? We have not done so. Cap just explained. Justice is a lecturer. Bernard is an entrepreneur. He works with Commonwealth Youth. So I don't know where you got that impression, but you are entitled to share your opinions. Good morning, Kafi, Thelma.
But if it's wrong, we'll point you out.
Yes. So I'm just pointing it out to you that that's the wrong session. So, good morning, Kafi, Thelma, and others. Why are government, especially Baumia, insisting on Ghana card all time? There is a lot they have to put in place. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Good morning, Kafu. You all look great in your Ghana jerseys. Thank you. Black Stars playing at 4 p.m. today. Discussion starting at 3. GTV Sports Plus, GTV, 18 regional FM stations. I just need to put that in there. Yes. You all look great in your Ghana. In my opinion, the long queues at the telcos is actually a sign of unemployment. This is simply time wasting. And if most people are employed, they won't go and waste the whole day at a telco. That's another opinion there. Approach to digitization of sectors of the economy must be categorized with appropriate security considerations. I'm wondering if I can switch over to the Facebook interface. So this is our live stream. You can see CAF there, a few of the messages. Daviba Giemsa, what happens to those of us abroad? I have a foreign SIM card and I didn't go through all these shenanigans to use it. Ghana and priority setting. That's a comment. The Aaron is back. I think the network stations should have given or handed the registration exercise to legitimate government institution or entity that have mastered in the similar exercise to prevent further confusion. I think the network stations should have mounted the registration exercise at voting centers nationwide to make it more accessible. That's a suggestion that I've seen also last week as well.
Well, it's voting, they manage to go everywhere.
Yes, so yes, but then voting is by the Electoral Commission.
Yes,
so
yes,
it's,
they
not
should have nationalized it.
It's not the telecom companies that engage in
they
the
could
voting
have partnered with them. You know, creative thinking.
So creative thinking would even require that you involve the post offices.
Exactly.
The post offices are all over. I think they are probably one of the most widest spread.
Every little hamlet has a polling station.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
I think you're onto
partnerships.
Partnerships. Good morning to the team and your guests. I'm really enjoying the show this morning. Rhoda Kennedy, thank you for sending your messages across to us. Remember that comments and suggestions made by persons on our platform represent their own views and not that of GBC. But we encourage you to share your thoughts with us. This is our WhatsApp number 05555610034. And reach out to us on our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube, or join the conversation using the hashtag GTB Breakfast on Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to hand over back to CAF, Justice and Bernard, and they'll take back their control to talk about more stories in the newspapers.
Thank you very much. The next time you see Thelma sitting here, where I am sitting, she'll be speaking with the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Telecommunications Chamber, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, and we'll be dealing with all these SIM card registration confusion. So next time you see her here, that's when she'll be having a conversation. So you can actually start sending your questions ahead. If you've suffered all this confusion, please, we want to know. If it was smooth for you, we want to know. 055-556-1034 for the WhatsApp messages. We shall be keeping an eye pretty soon with Valerie after I've gone through one of my stories that I have here in front of me. So we've looked at the suspension of the benchmark value reversal issues. We've looked at SIM card registration. Let's look at I'm keeping you in suspense. The finder. So road crashes have I mean, it's crazy. Almost 3,000 people died in road crashes in 2021. The actual figure is 2,924, which is almost a 13% increase over 2020, which means more people are dying on our roads. Our roads are, if you do the league tables, global league tables, Ghana is almost like at the very top. We are top 5 or top. Our roads are dead, you know. What beats me is why we can't bring the numbers down. I was reading last year of a Scandinavian country where they had one fatality. And they were angry because they wanted 0. One person died. Whole year. We have almost 3,000 souls who have perished because of road crashes. And the breakdown is in today's finder. You have males versus females, more males. Over 2,300. 500 females. You've got 28% killed were pedestrians. 43% were killed by motorbikes. 43% motorbikes. 34% killed by commercial vehicles, trucks, buses. 22% killed by private drivers. 46% injured by commercial. So the trucks and our buses, they are deadly. According to what is happening here, almost 47% injured by trucks and commercial rides, almost 30% injured by motorbikes, 23% injured by private vehicles, 13% pedestrians injured, 15,680 injured in crashes. You know, the figures are just mind-boggling. Grab a copy of today's finder. The breakdown is there. Justice. This is just like murder.
It's worse than that, actually. See the way we approach COVID. COVID, you know how many people COVID has killed? Just around 1,300.
Yes. Motorbikes have cars and
guess what? No, you are not even getting the statistics. This 1,300 who have been killed by COVID were killed in the space of 2 years plus.
Exactly.
2 years plus. On the average, it means that COVID has killed barely, well these are human beings, but it's still just around 700 people maximum. On the average, 650 people have been killed by COVID. And look at the resources, the resource allocation to COVID, and the sense of emergency, the sense of urgency that the state has put in fighting COVID. Look at the series of presidential addresses, the sort of energy that the whole nation is putting in fighting COVID. Because in the space of a year, 650 people have been killed by this disease. Now you have a road crash that literally kills more than double this number. And come with this, just every year we cross the 2,000 death rate. Every single year. Check the statistics since they started compiling it. Every single year. Now, what that tells you is that the crashes from our road, the death that results from our road, are way, in fact, they are way ahead of COVID and almost every other disease that you can even think of. Is the one of the most dangerous things to look out for. And if we can fight COVID the way we have fought it,
and transfer that to the road crashes,
and we cannot bring that same sense of urgency and declare a state of emergency on the way we deal with road crashes, road accidents in particular, then clearly we are not a serious country.
Bernard, briefly before we go to keep an eye.
I'm not sure I can be brief on this.
Please be brief.
Yeah, you see, I think it's an issue of political will and lack of common sense. It's simple. See, it looked like the leadership in Africa, not only Ghana, behave like a head boy and a headmaster. If you go to senior high school, you see how the head boys and the head girls behave. They want to be loved by the headmistress or the headmaster. So until the headmaster says this, they will not do what they have to do ideally. And that is what we are facing.
Who is the headmaster for that, please?
WHO and the United Nations. Unless they tell our leader fight COVID, they will not fight COVID. Look, let me tell you. When COVID started coming out, if WHO and United Nations had not made it look like a pandemic, our leader would never have fought it.
How do you relate this to road crashes?
I'm coming to it. Now, because the WHO, United Nations, and all the co-ministers gave noise about COVID, they said, this is what we need to fight. Forgetting that at your backyard, from Accra to Kumasi, people are dying. They will not fight that. They will not fight that because WHO has not said it. Tomorrow, let WHO issue a caveat and say that globally we should fight road accident. You see the speed with which the president will issue a caveat. They will form a committee, interim one, appoint a chairperson, subsidiary committee, allocate funds. They will take a bill to parliament, certificate under agency, pass a bill, allocate money. They will have an executive instrument. Because WHO has not said it, the common sense approach to fight it is not there. The issue is simple. Africa doesn't need WHO to let you fight what you need to fight.
What do we need, briefly?
We need common sense to know that road accident is killing more than COVID-19. Look, we are in 2020, we are still calling COVID-19. The real COVID-19 is poverty and road accident. And when you can fight road accident, we will not fight COVID. Because in Ghana today, look at people dying. And you see in Ghana, the political class, they feel happy when you go through challenges. When people die and they will have a queue, you see them, the ministers will come, DCs will come to express some condolence, they go back, and that is all. If we can dualize Accra Kumasi Road, construct more railways, road accident will go down. Bernard. And the amount of money that go, is like death is normal. When you die, you go. But you see, our leaders should know that WHO, United Nations, they don't like Ghanaians more than they should do.
Thank you so much. You've put it so eloquently. And my last point is for you to think about this. I just did the maths. It means every 3 hours, one person is killed by a road accident in Ghana. Every 3 hours. It's now 8:03. So by 9 o'clock,
somebody would die.
Somebody would have died. That's what it means. Every 3 hours, one person. 8 people are dying every day
It's the most scary.
from road accident. Just think about it. Every 3 hours, one person is gone. She's definitely here with us, and she's here for keep an eye. She's got a few things that she needs us to look at. It's not road accidents, but it's something also equally quite serious. It has to do with shelter. And Valerie is on the spot to talk to us about what's happening in a part of Ghana close to us.
Before we talk about shelter and everything, we are still cheering Team Ghana on. And so Alan is still in Mankasim.
Oh, okay.
He's at the Mankasim taxi station. And so he's going to be talking to the taxi drivers and the people who are about to board the taxis generally to find out what the expectations are for the game later today. So Alan, what's happening?
Hey, Valerie, welcome back to Mankasim. You know the Black are playing today, and so I went out to see how the nation is preparing for the game tonight, and so I came to the Mankasim taxi rank, and you have a few of the drivers really very much upbeat, very excited about Black Stars, and the whole of the nation has been taken over by these two men who are literally getting the whole place outside now for the Black Stars. I've come to speak to them to find out what excites them and what they are so happy about the Black Stars.
Yeah, Black Star, but the Caputo. That's the Caputo, Lafayette Galley.
Munian Bottom Martin. But I promised today.
But you're not what you want to say.
But you're in the Black Star ball. Isha today.
Oh, Bibia Cheddar Bastan. Bibia the Lope. Yes, Morocco.
If you know how one keep Black Stars in Tunga over to my show.
When I get to when you move on the car, my Bastan, let's see any against when you have to. Damn, in the Lafayette Galley.
Isha Yabasha one I.
Oh, yes, I want three.
Yes, I want three. Now, but what fraud then?
Made Kweku Douglas.
Kweku Douglas.
Over the Jananum says you are from I do number one.
I do number one. But Black Stars or today.
For now, the Junior maybe problem and Jordan. Jordan, you don't want to go Jordan. But the cap, an example, by the cap,
yeah, we need be 40 years in you.
No problem.
Yeah, the cap will go back.
I can remember until then.
For sure, we have this particular year, Ghana year, because like the leader like that.
In 90 days, friendly now, boy, no, one go baby.
Tournament is a about the new Laguna you are.
Okay, I say you're captain.
Yeah, captain or the cap at the bar, only the under 20 or one by. The cap or the buy. What champions league is that? Experience in your the day I know better cap.
My brother, oh brother, I'm the Ayo Kumpa. I don't get everything. In Black Stars. In Black Stars. Okay. So, Valerie, that's the situation out here at the Mankasim taxi rank. Some drivers are really very much upbeat. Others are not too sure, and it is all because they express sentiments such as the Black Stars in the last friendly did not do much to help them, and so because of that, they cannot be sure if the Black Stars, as the team today, they can bring the cup home. Remember, it is 40 years Maybe this year things will change for us. We're still looking forward to bring home the captain Ghana.
Yes, so that was Alan who came to us with those sights and sounds and speaking to those people from the Mankesim taxi rank. So our guy Jay is around the Legon area. I think he's at Katanga Hall. I'm not sure which place he's at, but Commonwealth, actually, yes, that's where he is, and we are going to be speaking to some of the students and find out, also gauge what the expectations are for the game later on this afternoon. Remember, the show is made possible by Wick Purified Water. I don't go next level drink and look fat. Jay is behind me right now. So good morning, Jay. That's your whole.
Shit, my earpiece did.
Okay, yes, so it's all right. It's all right. It's all part of it. It's all right. Yeah, it's like. So Jay, yes, what can you tell us? What's happening? Radio silence.
Okay, thank you so much, Valerie. So a lot of excitement over in the central region, and of course, kudos to Alan for bringing us that report as well. Okay, so we're trying to build up some AFCON excitement. We're all in our jerseys and all that, repping for the red, gold, and green. Yes, the Ghana Black Stars. So this morning, I'm at the University of Ghana at the Commonwealth Hall, to be precise. Truth stands directly behind me, as you can see. And then, we're here to get a few public opinions as to what they expect of Ghana's chances in the AFCON. It's been a few mixed reactions, but I'm here with some of the students of Commonwealth, and and I'm going to try and speak to a few of them to tell us their chances. Hello. Please come. Hi. Good morning, all. How you doing? Yeah.
I'm Hank Ernest.
Okay, so we're talking about AFCON. So Ghana played a friendly last week, and then we didn't fare too well. So now that the main competition has started, what do you think?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. And as you said, the competition kicked off yesterday, and we saw wonderful things from the host country, that was Cameroon, winning by 2-1. And one thing that I noticed was that they played like a team. Yes. And, linking that to Ghana Black Stars, I don't see that team spirit in Black Stars. It looks like Black Stars is people being called, to come and play a particular tournament, or not a particular team that are compact together that can, fight with one spirit to win a tournament. So my prediction for this tournament is that it will be very difficult for Ghana Black Stars to even qualify from the group stage. Because,
oh really?
Yes, please. Because yes, we have the passion that we are going to win a tournament, but when we get there, things get messed up. I don't think Ghana can even qualify.
So we are not going to win after 40 years. No look up.
Yes, no, not going to win. We are not going to win.
Okay, let me take a comment from some of your colleagues over here. Good morning, all. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing good.
By His grace. So to what have you made?
Sharp.
Okay, so we are talking about AFCON basically. So your colleague just told me doesn't think Ghana is going to make it out of the group stages even. What do you make of our chances?
All right. I don't really know much about sport, but I wish Ghana will.
You wish Ghana will.
Sure.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so moving on to somebody else. Hi, good morning. How are you doing? What's your name?
I'm Godwin.
Thank you so much, Godwin, for speaking to us. So we're talking about AFCON this morning. Yes, and we just want to ask you what you fancy. How do you think of Ghana's chances in the AFCON this year?
Ghana, our chances are very slim.
Okay, why do you say why there's no hope, no optimism? Why? What's happening?
Looking at the teams that we are playing with, the teams that you can count them as favorites. Team like Senegal, you see, the players have played with themselves for a while. And you see, in the last AFCON, they went to finals and they lost. Algeria too, they've played themselves, and teams like Cameroon, yesterday you saw Cameroon, the way they played.
They are speaking like the teamwork, their cohesiveness, they've been together for, they are a unit. Yeah, and you don't think Ghana has that?
No, Ghana is like, we've been calling different set of players to play different matches. Look at the qualifiers that we played. Always you will see we call this player, some of them can't come, some of them will come. So the chances are very slim.
So at least, do you think we'll make it out of the group stages? Or do you even think we can make it to the final?
to the final is very, very slim. Even to the semi-finals will be very hard.
But we'll make it out of the group stages.
Yeah, for the group stages, that will be fine.
Oh, that will be fine.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So these are some of the reactions from some of the students here at Commonwealth. A number of them agreed to speak with me, but when we started, okay, so let me try and see if I'll get one more person, and then we can move on. Hello, sir. Good morning. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
Okay, so we are talking about Ghana's chances in the AFCON. If we think they can make it to the final or they even get out of the group stages, I don't know if
they will win the match by all means, so they will get up to the final.
Okay, so do you think after 40 years Ghana can pull a surprise and win the cup?
Well, if they put things into order,
like such as,
because some of the players, when you call them, they will come to pray, but not the way they pray in their foreign clubs. Yeah, so it seems all is money. Oh yeah, that Ghana, everything is money now.
So if you are speaking about passion and then Ghana as a country, do you think we can go far with what we have right now?
I've already told you, if they put things into order, they promise them good, and not that they will say it out. When they finish, this is their money. They will go forward.
All right, thank you. So these are some of the mixed reactions we are getting from the public here at the University of Ghana, Commonwealth Hall, to be precise. Just keeping an eye on the students and whatnot. It's been, we are hopeful, if I can say it that way, if I can summarize that way. But I hope the optimism carries us through the tournament. But like they're saying, hard work counts, and we hope the motivation too is enough. So this is all we have for you this morning. Back to you, Val, in the studio.
Sure. Thank you, Jay. So that was Jay who came to us from the Commonwealth Hall. I didn't feel a lot of love coming from the Commonwealth Hall. Why? You guys, you have to, you have to give them all the support. I mean, now, imagine if they are watching, our stars are watching, and then everybody's just saying, come on, where's all this negativity coming from? A little positivity, huh? I'm handing over to Kaf and the guys. Okay, so back to you guys.
Vandals and the farmer. All right? Yes, the vandals are at both ends, and the farmer is in the middle. Be careful. Come on. The love is.
I think Valerie, right?
Valerie.
Valerie said she did not witness the love from the Vanda city.
Yes.
We have a way we do our things.
Yes.
And you see, lawyer is a farmer, a Kwafuho.
Yes.
And in those times, they're one of our colonists. And I'm happy today he's here, and he will attest to that. But there are only two horses in Ghana, the Commonwealth and the others.
Thank you.
If you want Vanda to show that love,
those watching know who is the best amongst us here.
5 degrees for here.
I'm in the middle of
two Vandas.
And those of you who are watching, you know how Jesus Christ met the people he met on the cross. So just think of who is the Jesus Christ here.
So if you want the Vanda to show the love, there's a tradition you follow.
Thank you very much.
You need to take drinks to the chief Vandal and they'll organize the people.
So
the gentleman who went to interview the people.
He's kind of from Lagos.
Traditionally, he should have entered the hall with 2 bottles of snap, gone to the chief Vandal palace, speak for his audience and authorization.
Thank you.
Then the chief Vandal will start the people with the drums. And when the drums follow, the power belongs to Vandal forever. So next time when we are going, seek some direction from us.
Thank you.
We have
a Vanda here.
Yeah, we are here. We'll show you the way.
We'll put that guy when he comes.
The interview was not well organized at all. Next time, go to the chief and
do the right thing.
Do the right thing. For the farmers, you can just enter.
Gentlemen, before we go, this affects you and I.
Right.
Because UTAG has withdrawn their services. Today, UTAG being the University Teachers Association of Ghana says they will today effectively withdraw their services until further notice as a result of the failure of the government to address the plight of members as a result of worsening conditions of service. And I quote, National Executive Committee of UTAG at its meeting held on January 7, 2022, reiterated its resolve to follow through with the decision to withdraw teaching and related activities until further notice with effect from Monday, January 10, and call on all UTAG members across the 15 branches to observe this directive. So they are looking for the market premium issues. It's all about money, really. So
at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about money.
Gavi, I think UTAG has been very kind to the state. UTAG has been pressing for this the past decade. It's been a decade over and over for government to do the most appropriate thing. And sadly, so sadly, it looks like UTAC has not just been too kind, but has also been very lackadaisical in its demand for better conditions of services. And listening to the leadership, I got the impression that as far back as 2011, we had an agreement with the state which puts the entry point of lecturers' salaries at around a little over close to $2,000.
Yeah.
This has never been implemented till date. After a decade, it has never been implemented.
Okay.
And what UTAC is asking for is not an increment. So just for the purpose of listeners and viewers, UTAC is not asking for an increment in salary.
Just respect the 2020.
Just respect what was agreed upon 10 years ago,
yeah.
or 11 years ago today.
Okay. That's it.
That's all UTAC is asking for.
So we're
now,
on
if
track.
there's anything that is probably being, the state is being urged to reconsider, it's probably the research allowances, which is so abysmal. Now, for those who are not into the teaching field, you may not understand how this impacts teaching and learning, because you constantly hear very derogatory and sometimes mischievous comments, such as the fact that it's been the same notes that has been churned out for the past 20 years. Yes, if your state is not interested in sponsoring its lectures
There'll be no new research.
Why would you want to have new information?
Okay.
You constantly have the rot that is already in the system. But if your state is interested in pursuing new frontiers, in giving quality education, in giving new and better information out there for a cutting-edge solutions to our daily problems, research is where the answers are.
So in brief, you support the strike?
In brief, I support UTAC on this, and I would strongly urge UTAC never to back off this time until the right things are done. Never. Even if it will take 9 months, as it happened in 1993.
Okay.
I will strongly urge UTAC to follow through with this.
All right.
And ensure that we secure for our members, and indeed the dignity of the lecturer should be protected. I mean, even though you're saying the last thing,
yes,
remember that the state is able to provide money for Article 71 public holders
and
every 4 years.
And why not teachers?
And the people who train your brains, you think they are not worth your resources?
Thank you very much, Justice. That's something that is a lawyer and a lecturer at the UPSA Law Faculty. Last word for you. 2 minutes, Bernard.
Yes, Kafu. A content, if whereby incompetence rewarded more than competence, that's why you see. See, there is a lecturer who is a professor.
Sorry, was that supposed to be a proverb?
Just for me.
He creates them on the fly.
A content that rewards incompetence more than competence. That is what you see. Because you have a lecturer who's, and for some with doctorate professors, and they underpaid them. Somebody who is just an A-level certificate holder,
because
now a DCA minister, and he earns more than a professor.
Sometimes 5 times.
Continent? Where can you see this? There are people there, they have all A-level. They are ministers today. There were people who have diploma, they are DCE, they are DCEs now. And that person sees himself as more superior to the lecturer. I read an article by Professor Jampo, and he said that the owners of the resources are paid 70% salary upward adjustment, and the caretakers are getting 70% increment. Where can you see that? The person imparting knowledge is getting 70% increment, and the person taking care of the resource or the person imparting knowledge is getting 70%.
So
it's unconscionable.
The inequality has to be addressed.
In principle, I support any organization that will call for better condition of service.
Awesome.
If we can pay Article 71 very well, so them well, give them ex gratia every 4 years.
In the name of not stealing.
Let us put the same mechanism, not only for lecturers, but for everybody.
On that
so
note,
that when equity is there, there will be peace.
Thank you so much. We want to have peace to he who has ears, or let them hear. Bernard Odru Tichi is and Justice Abdullahi were our guests for our conversation today, the 10th of January 2022, first Monday of the full working week. Gentlemen, I wish you a very, very productive day. Up next is a conversation that Thelma Taki will be having with the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Telecommunications Chamber, Dr. Ken Ashigbe. We're looking at the SIM card registration and all the matters arising. Please send your comments, your questions to Dr. Ashigbe on 055-556-1034. You're watching GTV on the day that Black Stars play against Morocco at 4 p.m. Watch this network at that time to get the game. But for now, SIM card registration conversation with Dr. Ken Ashigbe and Thelma happening right after this. Thank you.
I hope Thelma...
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is The Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, let's take a peek.
I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Half of your plate should be vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written at the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasie at that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
For staying on, it's still GTV Live, and we are going to talk to Mr. Ken Ashigbe, who is the CEO of the Chamber of Telecommunications, via Zoom, and we are looking at all the chaotic scenes, the congestion, the long queues, the lack of social distancing and face mask wearing that we've seen at the centers of registration, especially because of the issue of COVID-19, and we are asking questions about why the government is not considering extending the deadline when the Omicron variant is appearing to be rapidly spreading. Mr. Ken Ashigbe joins us via Zoom. Good morning, Mr. Ashigbe.
Good morning. How are you, Thelma?
Very well, Doc. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations.
Well, what for? Thank you very much. What for? Is it that Ghana? You've seen that Ghana has won already?
Well, we are playing today, and we've made it this far, so we can only congratulate each other. We've seen a new 2022, so Happy New Year.
Yes, that's definitely. And we pray that many happy returns, and we pray that we all will be more responsible, will take our vaccines, would obey the protocols, and will be able to deal with this issue of COVID-19.
Obeying protocols, and yet we see the scenes that we are witnessing at the registration centers. What are your initial thoughts on the process so far before we start off the discussion?
Right. So thank you very much. You know that in the past, we registered SIMs at various places. And, so we used to use our legacy systems. We used to use various ID cards. That's what the SIM registration law allowed us to do. But with the passing of the Ghana card law, it mandates that the Ghana card should be what is used in registering SIMs. And also, additionally, the Ghana card is very secure, very robust, and it collects all our biometrics, from our fingernails to face, face recognition, even has iris. He was able to do the iris as well. And so to make sure that the database on which we are verifying every SIM, so that if you appear anywhere, you say this is your SIM card, we know that it's actually you. It's not somebody who has taken your ID and is using that. So there was a policy directive to register all SIMs using the Ghana card only, and it's a good policy, because what it would do is that once you stand in front of any service provider and you want a SIM and you provide an ID, there's a database on which they are able to verify that it's actually you, not just looking at your face and what we see and what you have presented, by verifying and doing a one-on-one match to say that actually this is you. The challenge with that is that there's a first process, the *404 hash, that you can link your Ghana card to your SIM card. But the second process requires some biometric verification. And so there's an app that has been produced by the technical partners of the NTA, who provide a common platform called Kelny GVG. And so that particular app, has not been able to handle the volumes that we have. It's been a bit slow, but good. The good thing is that there's been several updates that have been released to be able to deal with the challenges. On Thursday, a new update went live, and we hope that that would be able to deal with some of the challenges we have with syncing offline and all of that. And so today is the first working day since that update went live. So we're asking all our agents to download the latest update. Hopefully that would all be able to resolve the challenge for us. Another problem has also been the fact that because now this app requires a smartphone of some certain specification, a lot of the agents in the past who used the feature phones, which we call a YAM phone, are no more able to do this again. And so the telcos have had to buy very expensive devices to be able to put in the tray to do this. And so what we're doing is that beyond the update that has been done, working together with the NCA, the operators are also increasing where you can do this registration. So some of their distributor points, some of their retail outlets are being used. The NCA has been magnanimous to add its regional offices. We are exploring other areas that we can use to also ensure that we can get a lot more touch points where people can go to. The other bit as well is to do institutional registration. For today, for example, we're working to be able to do Ghana Highway Authority, their premises. There are plans to go to churches, to go to mosques, plans to go to some markets during the market days and all of that, all to be able to increase the touch points. But another problem that you has caused what we're seeing is also the fact that you are seeing people come to these centers and they don't do the *404 hash before they come. So you have to go through that process again. And all of these are adding on to the congestion that we are seeing at the places. But we believe that with all of these measures and more that we are going to put in place, we should be able to resolve some of the challenges that we're seeing.
So you've spoken about a number of issues, and I'm guessing that with the updates that you're seeing, perhaps by the end of the day, we should expect an ease in the number of people we are seeing at the centers. Is that your expectation as well?
Yes. So, well, some of these things, it will take a bit of time to do. The technology one, we're hoping that with the update that has been done, it will be able to take, improve the speed at which the SIM registrations are done. But in terms of the number of centers that have been done, we need to increase and ramp up the communication, education, and let people know that there are other places apart from, the telcos, offices that they can go to, that anywhere that they go to some of these retail shops and distributor shops where they see SIM card registration down here, it means they will be able to go there. So some of these will take a bit of time. Another thing that also our members are doing is the fact that that most of us, the workers of the telcos, they have smartphones. They, in the past, were not the people, primary duty was not SIM registration. But the plan is to enable them, teach them, give them the app, enable them to also do some of the registration. If they also do that as well, it will reduce the number of people who would have to go to these centers, and so then it would also reduce the queues that we see. For me, wearing my hat as an engineer, one of the suggestions that I have for the app developer and then also the NTA and our members is the fact that we should move the same way we do self-service for the first phase. We should also be able to do self-service for the second phase. Thelma, can you imagine that if you also could download the app onto your smartphone?
Then you can register from the comfort of your home.
Aha! So especially with this Omicron, you put your hand in, and then there's a direct link between the app and then the NIA database. So once you put your hand on it, there's a one-on-one match. It's actually Thelma. It would then, clear you, and that will be done. If we did that, and that's the next phase that for me, I think that really would be able to cure a lot, because it would take maybe about 50% of the people who will still have to go would be able to do it, and we'll leave it only just the 50 who are unable to do it. What it would also do is that, so my grand auntie in Chiame, for example, who cannot walk and go to a center, I can then go to Chiame myself and then be able to put, do the self-registration for her. Also, some Ghanaians who might have traveled outside, who have their Ghana card, also have their the SIM card. They themselves can also, because this is over the internet, they themselves can also do the self-registration. So I believe that apart from all the interim measures that we put in place, that will take a bit of time to be able to reflect. If we are also able to crack the self-registration bit of it, that would definitely be, especially within the, this time of Omicron where we need to social distance, we need to ensure that people are not, gathering at places. That is really going to be the game changer.
Ken, I also want to find out from you, if the Ghana card and the NIA registration already has a complete database where everyone's fingerprint and biometric data are stored, why do we need to update more biometric data and not just link to the one that's already in the NIA system? Hence, it would eliminate the need for this second stage of the registration, which is creating all this chaos.
So the database is sitting with the NIA. Currently, what is being done is the second phase of verification is collecting that data so that it would be matched to what is happening at the NIA. So definitely, even though the NIA has that data, we need to be able to get it and be able to compare that with that. So I'm pretty sure that once we are able to get to the self-service, and then we are able to do a live link between the app itself and then the NIA, then we can do the verification in real time. So that's one of the things that will push. We need to push and get to develop the app in such a way that it now does not become an agent, but it's also a consumer app that everybody can download and be able to use to do this on the live NIA database. I can hear you. I've lost sound. There's no sound coming. I can't hear you.
Thanks for staying on. We apologize for that abrupt end of the program. We had to deal with some sound issues. Ken, are you still with us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Great. So I was asking about the app and the questions that have come up after it came to light in some circles that the app was developed by a Kenyan developer. Is that true? And why couldn't we get a Ghanaian to do it?
So what I know, and I need to issue the disclaimer that I don't work with the NTA, but what I know based on all the information we have is that this app was provided by the NTA's technical partner that is providing the common platform. So Kelly GVG are the ones that developed this app, and so they have been in meetings with our members. I have even had dealings with them so far as this app is concerned. So it was not done, so far as I know, it was Kelly GVG that were contracted to provide the app, and they've been doing all the updates and all. The app is such that when the biometrics are collected, they are currently stored on the NITA service, and NITA is also a state agency, so they are currently that's where the app is being stored.
So the government owns the app, is what you're saying?
Yes. The app is owned by government, by the NTA, and the same people who provide the common platform are the people who are also providing the app, and they are working in collaboration with NITA, where they have a third-tier, data center where this data is.
So it's not true that the app is owned by a Kenyan developer. That's not true.
No, it's owned by a Kenyan developer. It is that cannot be true, because, as I said, the Kelly GVG have developed it for the NTA, and that's what is being used to do the SIM registration.
What assurances do you have for data protection? Because this is crucial data, biometric data of persons, and there's a fear that if the system gets compromised, then the data also gets compromised.
Well, I think you make a good point about the fact that when it comes to biometric data, it's very critical data, and you want to protect that. And that's why I say that in terms of, the Data Protection Authority is an agency of the Ministry of Communication, and the Ministry of Communication has been an integral part of all of this. And so in terms of ensuring a robust system, that I'm pretty sure has been taken care of. And also the data currently is stored with NITA, which also have a very robust system that would ensure that this data is secure. And it's an end-to-end, secure system, because working with our members as well, our members also have very, secure systems that they are working with. And, so I'm pretty sure in terms of data protection, that has been taken into consideration.
So there's one set of data that the NIA is storing, and there's another set of data which is the same side of it, which is being stored by NITA, you're saying?
So what is happening is that the data that is being collected so that data will be synchronized with what is sitting at NIA. I'm pretty sure that we should be able to get to a point where, we don't even need to collect the second data again. But once you put your fingers on life, within the life environment, we should be able to synchronize that with the NIA database and be able to, do the validation live. I'm pretty sure that is a phase that we're going to get to. And that is what we ought to be doing, where once you're doing the second phase, you can hit the NIA database directly. So I'm pretty sure that the two regulators, the NIA and the NTA, would be able to work so that we get to that particular point.
It brings me to my next point, which would be when the registration for the SIM card measure with the Ghana card was ongoing, there was no need to go to another step of a process of verification. So why was it not necessary at that instance, but was necessary in the instance of SIM card registration?
See, the thing about the SIM card is the fact that, you know, when it comes to SIM card, anybody can get access to your SIM card. Anybody can get access to your NIA, your Ghana card as well. And so tell me, if I was able to steal your purse, and then I have your phone in there, and your phone is not, you know, password protected, hard enough, you know, or even if it's hard, it's protected, I just take your SIM, you know, and then I take your Ghana card. I can dial *404, and then I have your Ghana card. So I will put that data in there, and then it will do the link for me, and I still would hold your phone. But to make sure that it is actually Thelma and it's not Kenneth, that is where we need to do the second phase, where you validate that it is actually, you know, there's some authentication and validation that when I say I am Thelma, I'm actually Thelma. And how are you able to do that? It's your biometrics, your fingerprints, it's your iris, it's your facial recognition that is used. It is the reason why we have a double process, you know, in doing this. So that even if you go and you're going to get a new SIM card now, what they will do is that they will make sure that SIM card now is linked to your Ghana card number, and once you are there, your biometrics will also be validated. And anywhere else you go now, once you mention that number, then they know that it is Thelma who should be using it. You know, so it's the reason why it has to be done in a dual way. You know, take the example of the SNIT, for example. SNIT, the number is you. So your biometrics have been collected by SNIT, and it's sitting in there already. If so now when you do the link, they will link it up to your Ghana card, and then those numbers become the same. But anytime you go to SNIT to do anything, and they are in doubt, they can ask you to put your fingers on there, and even without your card, they would be able to talk to the NIA database and find out, actually, this person who is standing off, is that Thelma? If that is Thelma, then they can go ahead and serve you. It's the same thing that is happening in here. The only thing is that you want to be able to do that. And then also when it comes to SIM registration, you know, there are millions that have SIMs. And so there's a lot of people that we're dealing with and the complexities that have arisen. I'm pretty sure that all of us working together and bringing all these ideas together, we should be able to resolve this.
Well, the Ghana card has become a hot cake in recent weeks because of all these registrations going on with the SNIT measure and then the SIM card registration. We know that there are challenges with acquiring the Ghana card, and the process has been found to be slow in some instances. Is there an expectation that, considering the challenges, the deadline would be extended beyond the March 31?
So I think at this particular point, the focus of the ministry, rightly so, and the NCA, is how do we get a lot more people to get this registration done? How do we get a lot more people to do their *404 hash before they get there? How do we increase the touch points for people to do? But the good thing is that the NCA has a technical committee with the telcos, and on a constant basis, you know, meetings are being had, data is being shared, feedback is being taken. And then another good thing about the process is that the Minister for Communication and Digitalization herself, on a constant basis, would have meetings with this technical committee taking feedback. So I'm sure with all the data that is being taken and the fact that the ministry themselves are pushing to ensure that a lot more people have access to telecommunication, not to rather deny anybody, so that if the Ghana card is not available by March, and then if there are difficulties, I am pretty sure that that decision will be taken when we get there. But at this particular time, what we would want to urge all Ghanaians is that let us all try as hard as we can do the 404 before we go to the centers that are going to the old ones that exist and the new ones that are going to be announced. And I'm pretty sure, like GBC, for example, I'm sure in the coming days, coming weeks, we might do an institutional registration. When we come there, all of us should be able to take advantage of that. And then we all would also push and ask the technical partners to look into the possibility of being able to help us to do self-service, even with the second phase, and also get the NIA, linked directly so that we can, talk to the NIA directly. If all of that is done, I'm pretty sure that we would clear a lot more. But if by the time we still know that some Ghanaians who do not have the Ghana card but need to be able to register, I am sure that the ministry would take that into consideration. There are other people who also have challenges that we're still trying to find ways around. Some people, by no fault of theirs, because they are physically challenged, cannot have their biometrics taken. How do we deal with them? The Ghanaians who are out of this jurisdiction, who have SIM cards, who have to be registered, how do we deal with them? So there are various facets to all of this that are still being looked at. And because of the fact that the project is being managed with monitoring and evaluation and being part of it, I am sure that when we get to the point where we have to take that decision, we will do it. But it is important, and I want to repeat again, that all of us, without necessarily masking up, not wearing masks and going to those places, but doing what we ought to do, let's try within the ambit of safety within such a pandemic to do this registration without endangering ourselves. As the president will say, we will be able to do a SIM registration again. But if a life is lost, if in a single life is lost during SIM registration, we cannot bring back that life. So it's important that we do everything we can do to ensure that we can do this as safely as possible.
Ken, some of our viewers are joining us via our WhatsApp number and our social media platforms with questions for you as well. So my colleague Kafui Day is going to be reading out some of the comments and questions and suggestions to you, and then we'll come back and pick your thoughts on what you think about them. Okay, so Kaf?
Okay, Ken, good morning. WhatsApp number 055-556-1034. This is from DK in Tema. Why don't the telcos access data from the Ghana card database to feed the telcos? If the Ghana card database has my biometrics, it should be easy to access all the information collected on each Ghana card holder. So that's DK's question. Why can't the telcos access data from the Ghana card database to feed them? Ken, that's a question.
Well, so I think I tell my asked that. So I said, you see, Kafui, if I took our brother's phone right now and I have his Ghana card number, I can access that data, but I will not be able to tell that it's actually him who is doing it or I am doing it. It is the reason why at a point in time, we need to biometrically verify that the data, his data that is there, the person who is claiming that that is his data is actually the person. And to be able to solve the problem that we currently have, where you have to walk to an agent to do that, where you can do that, is if we are able to introduce the self-service, and then if we are able to allow the system to talk directly to the NIA, and so that's why I'm saying that conversation between the two agencies, I'm sure, are going on, and they should be able to get that to happen so that we can do self-service and do it live.
All right, thanks a lot. Vincent from Akachi wants to know how to check that his SIM card is registered after the biometric registration.
Okay, so what he has to do is to dial *400#, and he would be able to tell him. So when you're doing if you want to do the link, it is *404#. But if you want to check whether it's working, it's *400#.
Thanks a lot. So Richard wants to know, what's the hurry? Why don't you just allow us to scan our fingerprints and send them to compare with those fingerprints on the Ghana card database? Kofi wants to know.
So, Kofi, the hurry is the fact that on a daily basis, people are still going around, with fraudulent cards, scamming people up and all of that. So you want to make sure that the database of the SIM registration is secure. So it's important that we do that. And then in doing that, you want to do it in such a way that you don't introduce the old problems that we have in. So you want to make sure that, Kofi, if it's you saying you are Kofi, then it's actually you saying you are Kofi. So we need to ensure that in as much as we would do this in such a way that the user experience for you as consumers is great, we also need to make sure that it's also as secured as we can do it. And so the solution for this, for me going forward as an engineer, would be self-service, where we are talking directly to the NIA database, not having to go through the process of storing a data. So I think we should be able to resolve that interim challenge that we have and be able to do a live connection to the NIA so that it will be a lot more seamless.
Thank you. 055-556-1034. One of our viewers says he's tried to register his SIM card for 5 days, but all they say is network. What was going on?
So I don't know where he's trying to do it, but as I said, there have been some challenges with, the volumes that we're dealing with so far as the NIA, the SIM card are concerned is high. But for 5 days, that's quite a bit on the high side. And so the app, but as I've said, the app has been updated. We're hoping that by once we've all agents have installed the new app, they should be able to help to be able to resolve this. I hope also that he himself has done the *404#, and then also the names he's using is the same name he used in registering his Ghana card.
Awesome. So what about those who don't have smartphones? What will they do?
Okay, so if we got to the point where we're doing self-help, then what it would mean is that if you don't have a smartphone, you will be one of the people who would have to go to, the few people who would have to go to the centers. Or you could have a brother of yours who has a smartphone be able to help you do the self-service. So definitely we have to make allowances for those who have feature phones, and those people will should be the people, if we introduce the self-service, to go to the centers.
Olusegun Williams wants to know, why can't you start doing door-to-door service to have this registration done?
So it's one of the things I've said that we're going to do. Already it's been done, so we're not really doing door-to-door because of the logistics that are involved. Olu should bear in mind, we're talking about 40 million or so registrations, and even if you discount the multiples, that's a lot of it, and that's a huge. So the thing we're going to do is to do institutional. So we'll go to churches, we'll go to mosques, we'll go to market centers, we'll go to companies and be able to do the registration. And then for me, with all of these things that we're doing, if we are able to get to the point where we do self-service, then Olu himself could do it for himself and also be able to do it for others as well.
Thank you very much. So Kwame just said he checked on *404#. He received a unique code. Does that mean his registration is complete?
Thanks, Kwame. So what it means is that now you have done the first phase. So you are going to take that unique ID that you received, and that's what we expect from everybody. You're going to take that to currently you're going to take it to one of the telcos, their agents, their distributors, even the NCA themselves are starting, to use their regional offices, take to these centers, or when the telcos come to your office, your church, your mosque, your lorry station, you give that code to them and then they continue the process from there. So what Kwame Jan has done is what we're hoping that all Ghanaians will do. Let's start the first phase, *404# and do the linking. And then when you're going to any of the areas I have mentioned, make sure you still carry your Ghana card with you as backup, and then most importantly to also go with your digital address of where you live.
Ken, so Eric says he's in Tema. He wants to know, can a foreigner such as himself also apply for the Ghana card, since it's the only means of re-registering his SIM card? If yes, how much?
Okay, so what happens is that if you're a foreigner, you're living in this country beyond 90 days, then you are mandated to go and get the foreigner's Ghana card. And so you go to NIA and you register for that. I'm sure that for foreigners who are here for shorter, they would be able to use their passports with, the required, a permit to be able to live in this country, to be able to register that. The passport system is also being set in motion. I'm sure before we'll get to March, that would have been done.
All right, and lastly, what is the name of the app for the self-service registration? Is it ready now? Frank from Kumasi wants to know.
No, Frank, I am just wearing my hat as an engineer and making that suggestion or recommendation. So the app has not been, I've not even spoken officially to the NCA about it. It's something that, I believe that would really solve the problem for us. It would require that the current app that we have, that's an agent app, would have to now be made as a consumer app. It would have to come with all the more robust security features and all of that to ensure that data protection is guaranteed, cyber security is taken care of, and all of that. And so it's not something that has been developed yet, but I believe that that is going to be the panacea, that's going to be the solution for the challenge that is facing us currently.
We have a ton of messages here. I wish we could just send them to your FAQ so you answer for us, but that's all for now. Ken, back to Thelma to wrap it up.
You can send them to me.
All righty.
Thank you so much. We will definitely forward some of those questions over to you. And we are looking forward to the easing in the congestion, the numbers that you are seeing at the centers. We wish you a fruitful day as you start the first official full week of 2022.
Thank you, Thelma. But I would suggest to all of you journalists that it would be good for you to embed yourself. Go through the process, and figure out how it's going so that you are able to help give feedback to consumers, give feedback to us, give feedback to the NT and the ministry. So together, all of us can make sure that this national exercise, that is a critical exercise, goes on very successfully. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for your time. Dr. Ken Ashibe is the CEO of the Chamber of Telecommunications, and he's been talking to us about plans to ease the numbers and to reduce the numbers we're seeing at the SIM card registration centers. He's answered a few of your questions. I'm sure that you have so much more. Continue to send them to us on our WhatsApp number 05555 61034, and we will forward it to Dr. Ashibe to get some redress and answers for you. The show is still live on GTV thanks to our sponsors, Awake Purified Water, Abdonco Next Level Energy Drink, and Lufat. We'll be back with the Your Life, Your World segment, and that will be hosted by Valerie. Kaf, I think you want us back on the screen?
Yeah, this is a young man, really snazzy in his suit, and he's been trending since yesterday. So Azumi Bey at Koleki Dede on Twitter says, I watched this man since childhood on television. He's still relevant. Damn, Kwabena Yeboah is a legend. Yes, why is Kwabena Yeboah not in the commentary box? The AFCON is your most decorated tournament, and it needs exciting commentaries from the likes of Kwabena Yeboah. Please, OTAJ, echo this for us. Yeah, a lot of people were complaining. They didn't like the standard of commentary. Me, myself, I didn't like it. And I was thinking, why is Mr. Yeboah at GTV Sports Plus and not in the box?
Because we love having him in the studio.
Yeah, so let's keep the good thing for ourselves. Yeah, but we wanted to share it to the rest of the world. The commentator know they make their match, they be crying, no enthusiasm, no zeal, just vibes. That's how to give commentary on the first goal of AFCON 2021. Hooking me. Sack said hooking me with Oluwa. Oluwa means you are crazy in Ghana, right?
Yes.
Okay. Kwabena Yeboah has a chokehold on GTV Sports Department. My grandparents, parents, myself, and my daughter, all that's 4 generations. Not even funny. Me Chelsea says the commentator is terrible. Kwabena Yeboah is untouchable. Fist bump. Hashtag AFCON 2021. I agree. Another AFCON opening for the big man. Even better because the chief host, President Biya, has been on for too many decades too. Cheers Yeboah for the memories. A legend. I am here. So I had a great opportunity to take a few shots of the legend I've watched throughout my childhood. Kwabena Yeboah, the man has very good command over the English language. Follow the AFCON 2021 on my GTV Sports, verified, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. More messages. Kwabena Yeboah still looks like a young man. He is a young man. Correct football pundit. If you are alive, you are young, all right? Kwabena Yeboah in the commentary position for this AFCON 2021. The commentator for the opening match is Wak. I agree. Chunli won. Football without Kwabena Yeboah, the legend, and his English isn't complete football, says Joe Sparrow at Donna Sparrow. The time is 9. Join them today, 3 p.m. for the pre-game commentary for the Ghana-Morocco game on GTV and on GTV Sports Plus and all our regional networks all around the country on radio, television. So yeah, those are the messages on Twitter, throwing out more love to Kwabena Yeboah, ace broadcaster and commentator. He knows what it's all about, and we wish we had it in the AFCON box. But maybe 2023 they'll bring him on. We'll put the contract on and bring him on to go and do it for the whole of Africa. This is GTV, and WhatsApp number is 055556 1034. There's a music vibe going on after this message, and Valerie will be doing that on the warmer side of the set, where I see one of the guests warming up. I'd like say they go take free kick. Yeah, we go see what will happen after. Stay with us. Don't worry.
Popularly known as Accra. Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show.
morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Half of your plate should be vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the bag?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure, Dan Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
And there's much more on offer.
Just something. I'm gonna dance with you. Let's do something bad. And I go pour it on you. Let's do something bad. And I go rush. Let's do something bad. Let's do something bad. I want to touch your back, scar. Let's do something bad. See, we already crossed the line. Baby, my weekend crush. Dada, they won't check our pass. Why? One weekend crush. Dada, they won't check our pass. Baby, I will see you in Ghana. Baby, don't you wanna blow my puzzle? Baby, see you wanna be a singer. Tackle with the team like Shingard. Oh, baby, I will see you in Ghana. Baby, don't you wanna blow my vuvuzela? Baby, see you wanna be a singer. Tackle like a steward with your Shingard. Let's do something bad, baby. I'm gonna dance with you. Let's do something bad, baby. And I'm gonna pour it on you. Let's do something bad, baby. And I'm gonna rush. Let's do something bad, baby. I'm gonna rock with you. Let's do something bad. I want to touch your back. Let's do something bad. I want to touch your back. Blessed eyes, blessed love from motherland. Fred Shade. Alright, yes, my love. When we dey do it with styling. And we dey heat them with highway. As you dey see so, people they outside there. Them have ticket though, them no fit come here. Come down chuck full of smoke. Some have coke, some get dough. Now waiting be your own. your face where you dey frown. We day in the zone, always in the sound. So come out your lighter, make the flames go higher, because we found a burning desire. So right now, make we show them some fire. And what we be a sweet is sweet to be a sweet. The girls them love it, guys them love it. Everyone talking about it. Oh yeah, alright. Somebody tell that girl say, we know they mind though, but I'll shoot you that gun way. Ain't no fun.
After the storm comes the sun. Your arms is where I belong. After the storm comes the sun. Oh, you're in my heart. My bonafide, the only one I confide in. You were the prize. I know the lies, so stop frightening. This is our world. Me and you alone, nobody come through. So sweet, Indian moon. This kind of feeling meant the broken hearted. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Beauty lies and I'm a rise. I'm gonna love you through the times when you don't have, and I don't mind. I'll be your wife, regardless. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So sweet, Indian moon. After the storm comes the sun. Your arms is where I belong. After the storm comes the sun. Boy, you're in my heart. After the storm comes the sun. Your arms is where I belong. After the storm comes the sun. You all I'm thinking of makes the broken hearted. You're all I wish for. The broken hearted. You're all I wish for. Sometimes I know things might be crazy. Sometimes for sure it never feels the same. Sometimes I wish we can do it right, but I know.
Okay, so welcome to my side of the breakfast table, the yellow couch, the warmer side. So we've seen three amazing people perform. We saw Nilante, we saw Kente, and the lady who just went by is Alice Coiner. So the unique thing about, I don't know if you realized it, but did you realize that they were all on one rhythm? Did you realize that it was just one rhythm, but they had different sounds on it? So it brings us to the core of our conversation today. We are going to be talking about where the Money Day rhythm. So this is a rhythm that was put together by a Ghanaian, actually, and we're going to talk more about it. They're going to tell us the 411, but this is a rhythm that was put together by a Ghanaian, and it has 21 reggae artists on there. So it's a rhythm. Let's say it's a beat, okay, an instrumental, and then we have the artists put their songs on it, the same rhythm. I'm talking because I'm talking from a layman's perspective, but we have the three people in studio. We have Nilante, we have Alice Coiner, and we have Kente. So they're going to tell us more about where the Money Day rhythm and what it entails, how many other artists are there, the whole 411, and how far we wish to go with this. So I'm going to start with you, Ni. First and foremost, a lot of people who are not reggae music inclined would ask what a rhythm is. So from your reggae perspective, what is a rhythm? When they say someone has jumped onto a rhythm, what do you mean?
So basically a rhythm is when you have an instrumental piece that has been built purposely for artists to express themselves
in their own way on that beat.
Okay, okay.
The distinction is that, I mean, when you go to a studio, yes, you also have a rhythm backing whatever you are doing. But because that one is not available for everybody to jump on, we don't refer to that as the rhythm.
Okay.
But when you go to the studio to build a beat with the aim that artists should come and put their interpretations on the beat,
okay,
then we call it a rhythm.
Okay. Is it, when you say rhythm, is it something that's peculiar to Ghana or is unique to the reggae genre? Can an R&B artist perhaps jump on a rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, the rhythm culture actually is a Jamaican culture. It came with the reggae. I mean, where people deliberately put up rhythms and line up artists all to ride on.
Okay.
You know, so it came from Jamaica. I mean, it's not a Ghanaian thing. It's something that we are now also borrowing from, you know, in an international world, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's not uncommon for an R&B artist to jump onto a reggae rhythm. I mean, once the thing is sweet and you can make music out of it, why not?
Okay, okay. So now let's talk where the money day. Okay, so how did all the 21 reggae artists come together? Who put the rhythm, who produced it? Like, tell us the whole 411 about where the money day, because that's what we are going to be listening to for a long time in 2022. We have amazing artists on it, so we might as well know who put it together and how far we wish to go with it. Okay, Kente.
Right, Comanti Music is a record label that's based in the United States, and it's run by a brethren of ours. He used to be here. It's called Kwesi Jah Beloved.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's Jah Beloved now because he's got all this love and he's put this rhythm together to, first of all, give Ghanaian reggae an opportunity to go international, because we're doing the same thing that they're doing elsewhere, and also to bring together the artists here
in Ghana
to promote our music. So I'll say kudos to Jah Beloved.
Sure.
And you know,
okay,
respect. So that's the whole idea.
Okay, so Ellis, when you were invited to jump, were you invited to jump on the rhythm? Were you invited, or how did you come by? How did you jump on the rhythm? Let me just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black Rasta actually recommended me to Jah Beloved.
Okay.
And so he spoke to me about it, and I spoke to my team about it. We were all interested in the rhythm because it had some sweet vibes in there. So that's how come I got on the rhythm.
Okay. So that was a reference from Black Rasta.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So before I come to your individual songs on the rhythm, so how is this going by? The 21 artists. I know that you're supposed to be releasing 5 artists at the point or 3 artists at the point. Are you the first set that's out on the Where the Money Day rhythm?
The first batch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first batch.
Yeah.
So the first batch you're 3, or you have other people? 5.
Kwesi Jah Beloved himself is with the first batch.
Okay.
There is one more.
Osaje
Saji,
and
yeah.
Okay. So you're the first set. Okay. So Nilante.
Let me put a little bit of clarity.
Okay.
So what happens is that almost the 21 artists are all going to be released, right? But you can't put 21 songs out at the same time.
Especially they all have the same.
Already. They chop with too, you know, start like the part of your dark and everything. You know, so few, you know, so we divide the thing to 5, and you know, some surprise artists and things.
Okay.
So that's how we're dropping it, like 5 artists this week, next week another 5 artists, the next week another 5 artists. Like, you need time to digest everybody.
So nobody gets confused.
Yes, to digest properly and appreciate Ghana reggae.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I'm going to be partial. I'm going to start with Ellis. Ellis Coiner, right?
Yes.
Okay, how long have you been an artist? You might want to give us a little profile.
Yes. I started from 2011. That was when I started. I actually started as a backing vocalist.
Okay.
And I did that for close to 6 years. And then I had to start doing live bands.
Okay.
So with that, and then later I decided to do music. And so in one corner I was actually recording my songs. And then God being so good, last year was when I found my team, and so I'm actually signed to First Page Music.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So, how many songs do you have out? Do you have any singles, an EP, perhaps an album?
All right. Truth is that we're about dropping my song, and then when the money rhythm came in, and so we decided to come with it first because I'm a new artist. Sure. No one knows me to be an artist, and so decided to come with a rhythm.
Where the money,
yes.
Rhythm, yes.
So this year, hopefully this month, I'll be releasing my first single.
What's the title of your first single?
Just You and I.
Just You and I. Okay.
Yes.
Are you going to make? Are you going to become an artist that sings love songs, social issues?
Yes, me myself, I love stuff like that because it feels good to be in love. Everything. I mean, being honest is real.
It's real.
So,
yes. Yeah. And so, yeah, you're going to make music for the lovers.
Yes, because there are people dying inside. And so when you keep doing good songs, especially like love songs, and you talk really deep about love, not just like making love to someone, no, but talking real love.
Like emotion.
Yes, I mean, stuff like that. You know, you have no idea who is dying inside. You might just waking up someone.
Okay, the song you performed, Indian Almond.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you come by the name?
Well, I didn't write the song alone. I wrote it with my manager, Godzi, and one other artist called Satabada, and myself.
Satabada.
Yes, and then myself. So as I was writing the song, and I was with Scatter, but then I had the other verses. And so the Indian Almond just dropped in my mind. And then I was like, no, let me just sit down and rethink about the Indian Almond. So I thought of it and like, no, when we were kids, we used to climb walls, to jump into people's homes, to, plug the Indian Almond, we call it So then, you know, the food itself is very sweet. And then when you crack it too, there is a sweet nut in there.
Hey. Hey, you have vibes.
You understand?
I can't wait for Ghana to embrace you, man. So you break into the almond,
yes,
which is already sweet, and then you find more sweetness.
And then you don't have to. You can actually find someone. It goes well from the scratch, and then it ends well. And sometimes too, the same Indian almond, the food is not that sweet, but when you crack the nut, the sweetness. So it's like when you're in a relationship, you shouldn't expect it to be fully. Hey. Sometimes it comes 100%.
But we can't wait for your entry to the 2016. Okay. You know you've been here, so I mean, pardon us, Kente.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about yourself and what to expect.
It's not little, it's plenty.
It's plenty. You just put it into a small nutshell for me.
All right, Kente is Ghana culture, you know.
Yes.
And it's fashionable, and it's royalty, and it's classy. So that's what the music of Kente is all about.
That's what your music represents, huh?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
It's the Ghana Kente.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Well, the title of your song, when you performed, what was the title of the song?
Room Don't Choke.
Room
Don't Choke.
Why? How did you come by the?
You see, the rhythm suggested that I normally sing in straight English, but when I got a rhythm, and I was told the rhythm is called Where the Money Day, I thought about why not this time I sing in Pidgin.
Yeah, man.
So that's where it started. Now, Room Don't Choke just simply means that the room is full, you know. In the early 90s to late 90s, when we were performing as a band, there was a place in Zadabraka or Kokomemle called Afro-Caribbean Center. And we used to play there, and the place is smaller than this studio, you know. And outside, there's a staircase, and usually what happens is that the place inside full up with, you know, and people are smoking herbs and whatever. And outside it's even more choked, and then inside you can't find space. So that's the imagery, the visuals that came into my mind when I wrote those lyrics. And then I was thinking of a lonely girl who's just falling into the show, and you know, it's all the story. But it's all about the Ghana thing too. You know?
Yeah, Ghana
is the style.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I like the song. I can't wait for to see the next set and where this will go. Okay, so Nilante, what's the title of your song, the one you performed?
My song is titled Something Bad.
What is bad?
Yeah, so you know, in this song I'm talking about the good side of the bad.
Okay.
There's the bad side of a good and the good side of a bad. In short, what I'm saying is that there's nothing that is all good and nothing that is all bad. Some things that they say is bad today, tomorrow they say is good. Wow. Some things that they said was good yesterday, today they say is bad. If they see this thing, they come CBD. Today they say it's good. Now we're using it in medical practice. So, you know, this song is all about this song is all about the good side of what we traditionally say bad. So you say, yeah, they go club, go chill small. They say like bad boy. But actually, maybe through the chilling and things, you know, exercise, fun, your distress, you know, your blood pressure will come down, you know, and everything. So yeah, that's basically what this song is about.
Okay, so basically, from what I gather, where the Money Day rhythm is a feel-good rhythm, where we are having talented reggae artists jump on it and promote it, and promote everything Ghanaian. Okay, so how far, when it comes to promotion of you guys, the FESE, how far have we gone? How far are we willing to go?
Well, we are here. So
yeah,
that means
man.
we are going far.
Yes,
we started playing on radio a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Like you mentioned, the rhythm was dropped on the 17th
of December.
And prior to that, we had been doing a radio tour. And since then, we've been doing same. And that's what we're continuing to do.
Nice,
we're going very far.
Nice, yes. Nice. You know, where the money
international. That's how far. International.
International.
That's how far we intend to go.
Right, right. Yeah. International. Yeah. Okay. Where do we find you on social media? I'm starting with you, Kente. Where do we find you on social media?
You know, the usual place, Facebook, Instagram. You know, all the
What's your handle? I like that. What's your handle?
You look for Kente, you know, Fred, Kente, Fred,
Van Dyke.
Fred Kente.
And then we'll find you.
Fred Kente.
Yeah.
At Fred Kente or at Kente.
Okay. Right, right. Ellis, how about you? We'll find you. Yeah. Ellis, how about you?
Yes, on the Instagram it's at Ellis Koina. Ellis.
Okay.
Koina, Koina.
Okay.
And on Facebook it's Ellis Baby. The baby is spelled Babie. And yeah, on Twitter Ellis Koina.
Ellis Koina, right. Me.
Yeah. Let's do something bad.
Bad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you go find out for everywhere. KNIILANTE. Nilante. The world.
Right. Okay. Before we wrap up, the Black Stars are playing today at 4 p.m. What are your predictions? You think we'll win? Can you predict the scoreline, Fred?
It's a very emotional thing you're asking me to do, you know, because I think that we'll win.
We'll win.
That's my vibe.
Simple.
Yes, as simple.
We'll win.
Yeah.
How about you, Ellis?
No more.
What do you think about the Black Stars game today? Do you have any predictions?
Well, we'll win.
We'll win. Yeah. No scoreline.
I can't because with them you can never predict.
Oh, Charlie.
Yes,
but we'll win.
Anytime I try to predict, you know, they just break my heart. That's why I'm doing love songs.
I like that. How about you, Nee?
Yeah, for Black Stars, Charlie, we are expecting something bad.
Yes.
Something bad.
3-0, 4-0.
Yeah.
Bad.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen and lady, for passing through. We are wishing you success on the Where the Money Day reading. We are wishing, the hashtag will reach places.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Thank you for passing through. Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So we've been spending the last part of our breakfast table. We've been spending it with Kente, Ellis Koina, and Nilante, and they are the, how should I call them? They are the first additions. No, I mean, the first set is out for Where the Money Day Rhythm. So go out there. It's everywhere on social media. Use the hashtag. Look for them. Share, share, share. And together we promote good African music. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We'll see you again tomorrow at 6. Oh, no. My team, you guys, the prelude to the game is here. The prelude to the game is here.
Hey! All right. I love that. You do well. Right to
Yeah.
No, why?
Foul.
Put the ball down.
Penalty.
Put the ball down. Quickly.
Especially for a goalkeeper to pick the ball.
Put the ball down.
Penalty.
Charlie, guys, we are winning. Remember, the pre-match conversation day on GTV Plus. Make us speak PG too. Make us free.
Yeah, free your man.
Sports Plus, then GTV. It'll be 3 p.m. and the match will start 4 p.m. Me, I don't see this game, sir. Me, the seventh game. We did a wilderness now 40 years. The Hebrews roam me around in the wilderness.
Laughing my
We're bringing it home. Shall I give me pass? I'm pass.
See you tomorrow where we'll be having the victory party, right?
All right.
Eh?
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we say